Hey everybody, it's Chanchai, and it's kind of a late night stream, but I'm going to be training a player, J.Valentine. I've actually had a lot of training requests lately, but I've been having trouble finding common time, just kind of working around day-to-day stuff, especially family stuff and tasks. But I've been, uh, we were able to work with it because Jay Valentine is doing late night. They really like the super late night, and I can work with that. That said, I do hope to be doing more of these training sessions with more players soon. So right now, I'm gonna probably get them on the voice chat, unless they don't want to do voice chat. I'm gonna clear my throat first. I'm gonna mute the mic. All right. I actually had a late night nap today, so it's kind of funny, I guess. But, anyways, they do have me on a call. Hey there, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. You want me to call you Johnny or Jay Valentine or?
Yes, you can call me Johnny.
All right. Okay, Johnny. Yeah. Did you want to make the room, or would you like me to make the room?
So whatever works for you. I'm just booting the game up now.
Okay, cool. I'll set up a room. Let's see. Let's see here. We'll set this up as 5 games sets. We can change it later.
Word up.
I'm gonna set it to random reselect stage, and it's been a while since I've done this. Passcode's gonna be 4545. So
Okay.
let's see here. So we are live on the air, but should be a lot of fun.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off doing Akira versus Akira. I don't know how the results will turn out, but I hope you don't mind it. I think the mirror matches do help people for training. So
It won't let me enter.
it won't. Okay. Well.
Oh, do you have a private slot set?
I did. I'll try to change that. I forgot about that. Oh, that's right. I gotta invite you if I do that. Let me recreate the room. Forgot about that. Here we go. Okay, passcode is 4545.
Okay. Holy shit, he's on his way VF right now?
What's that?
I saw he's on. He's just chilling in the lobby.
Oh, Idazan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Idazan is amazing. He loves Virtua Fighter. Always supported the community.
Oh, that's go right there. He seems like every time I watch VF at like bigger majors, he's always like in every top 8. Because I know he started off in VF initially.
He does well. He absolutely loves. Obviously, he loves Street Fighter, but he loves Virtua Fighter. He never abandons it. Anytime Sega asks him if he can help out, as long as it fits as long as it's in his schedule, he'll be there. So
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Very nice. Akira's good at making the forced choice always be existent.
Yeah. This is Omega Plus on it.
Well, only because if he's counter hitting you, right? But of course, if he hits you with like this low kick, he's still minus on that hit, right? So he still follows the same rules. It's just that Akira has a high chance at counter hitting, and so that changes everything, right? Like because if he gets a counter hit, he's gonna be plus, and he's gonna be plus like a lot. So now you're in a guess. The thing that Akira is very strong at is like the opponent is always there's almost never a moment that the opponent's not in a guessing situation between attacking and defending, and it's a very insecure feeling because of that, because he an aggressive Akira doesn't really let up, right? Doesn't mean that's the best way to play. I'm just saying that if he's aggressive, you're going to be guessing a lot regardless, and if you guess wrong, it's going to hurt. So even here, right, this super dashing elbow is really good, and it'll catch like a back dash. So you just have to kind of, I'm just making sure that your guess is that you should probably defend, right? If I have advantage, right? But you are going to punish me if I'm late. So
Yeah.
and so if you do want to stop that, you have to be very decisive. But winning on speed is hard because of the priority rules in the game. Are you familiar with the priority rules in this game?
No.
Okay. So unlike Tekken, there is priority in this game. Tekken speed just really determines if you can hit or not. But this game is different. In this game, if two attacks hit at the same time, the one that does more damage will win. And for Akira, we're playing a mirror right now, but for Akira, he hits like a heavyweight character.
Yeah.
And not only that, he has fast moves. So this combination means he wins neutral like a lot. Just simply by doing more damage, right? This thing is going to out-hit like a jab, right? It just needs to be +2 to beat a low punch, right? But then in the neutral, there's a higher variance that you're going to be slower. And so that's why this dashing elbow is like one of the best things ever. You just have to get really, and you're good at using it. So I'm not saying you're not, because actually a lot of people that are learning Akira don't use this dashing elbow enough, right? And it's scary because it's so safe. Like if you block it, I can just fuzzy guard. and like that alone. So when you play Akira, making good use of dashing elbow is huge. But also, if you ever get a red hit, if you ever counter hit your opponent, then the mix-up is strong. The throw versus the attack mix-up is very powerful because they can't fuzzy guard. However, they can actually fuzzy guard if you if I hit you with this, watch, take this hit, okay? If I hit you with this, go ahead and fuzzy guard after. Do you know how to fuzzy guard?
Yeah, it's crouch dash forward into
Stand guard, yeah, exactly like that, yeah. So this is hard to do in general, but I want you to try to fuzzy guard this throw. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Right, and then so I want to do a low to stop you from doing that, but actually what I really want to do is delay throw. And so it's a delay throw, I'll just crouch dash into throw. I'll just buffer it like that, right? Can you do that? So you try doing that. Do a dashing elbow, and then now that said, most opponents are not going to fuzzy guard when you hit them with dashing elbow. That's a skill check that you have to do on the fly. You have to actually watch and see if your opponent does it or not. If they don't do it, then all you have to do is mix up right away. And even me, you got to skill check it. You got to see if on the day I'm actually going to fuzzy guard this. Trust me, most people do not. So simply doing dashing elbow into throw will be very strong, right? Like you hit them, right? So go ahead and hit me with it and then throw, right? And so I have to attack to beat it. But if I'm just defending, so mix up your throw, get very comfortable mixing up that throw. Like just, whether it's, back throw or forward throw, make sure you're mixing it up. Just don't even know, surprise yourself. Get comfortable mixing up for the sake of mixing up. Because in a game like Virtua Fighter where the option space is quite strong, if you don't mix up, you're not making your opponent have to think. Okay, so if you're always doing this quarter circle back throw, yes, this will work against someone who's not doing the throw escape, and this will work at a higher level. But you've got to challenge them on it. So generally, if you just show them the forward throw just one time, that's enough to get a strong player to have to think about which throw you're gonna do, as opposed to just default escape back throw. So definitely, by mixing up, it doesn't mean you have to be random. But it does mean that you have to introduce the mix-up alternative once in the whole game, Right? But if this just works, then yeah, you can do that. But at the higher level, you need to actually challenge them, and you have to have them give you the evidence. But of course, for you're doing a lot of stuff dynamically, so I know that I can kind of talk ahead on all this stuff. But but for a lot of people, it's about them getting comfortable with the controls, getting comfortable with the technique. And while there is some of that for you, I don't feel like it's that much for you. When I'm playing you, it feels like you got a grasp on it. It's just more of like seeing it more and getting used to doing it in match. So, all right.
Yeah,
So we'll.
I think a lot of it is just like kind of like a train mode issue for me a lot of times.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Okay. I can't hit confirm for shit.
It's okay as long as you're doing a decent option. As long as you're doing a decent option, you know. It's if you can't hit confirm, it's okay in this game as long as you can guess. You can always do either of those two. You can react, but you can also guess in this game, and you can play in a way that like that reinforces guessing over reacting if you need to. It's better to be able to do both, but this game will allow you to play in ways where even if you're slow on reactions, you can still fight because you can still play on forced guessing.
Yeah.
Forced guessing doesn't require as much reaction, but it is actually faster because it's committing. Forced guessing means you're playing with full commitment. Guess reaction actually is not committing, and because of that, it's actually playing slower. That's counterintuitive because you have to use fast reflexes to play on reaction. But when you're playing on reaction, you're deferring your decision making a lot. A lot of times you're just waiting to see something happen before you do it, you know. And so, understanding that your opponent is either or on this is important to challenging them in a game like this. Good. I was like, double palms should get. It is good to train early about how to punish double palms. So, just knowing that, like, if you block it from in the normal sense, and also if you is that it's punishable. So do know that double palm is punishable, and you can just PK. PK is the most common punisher in VF.
I gotcha.
Like that, right? And then do a dashing elbow after PK, and that'll force them to have to kind of fuzzy guard, right? Or just defend, right? And then if they start defending, then you start throwing. You know? Then you start doing like PK in the throw, right? And you don't normally have to dash, but if you see that they're spacing, then, you know, but what you do, if you're worried about them seeing the dash, is you just turn it into a dashing elbow. So PK into dashing elbow is so strong. All right, we'll spar and we'll see how this goes. Thanks for listening to me ramble.
Very good.
Good, that was a punish. It might not be the best punish, but it was there. But if you did do the single jab, you should at least try to mix up behind it.
Yeah, I would say because PK is +1. I think just
PK is +2.
IP is just +1.
It's like +2, I think. And so you can like, you know, you can. It's at least that. It's probably +5. It's actually like +4, +5 in most cases. So like as long as you hit with it, it's like +5. So that's why dashing elbow is secure. And then except if they evade punish, right? Or they try to evade. And so right now, I'm not having to, once you get comfortable doing these options, I don't have to think until you actually start winning enough, right? It doesn't take me as much mental space to do. But Akira is very strong at it. It's really annoying. So getting comfortable mixing up like mid or throw after you counter hit with the dashing elbow is really strong. And then getting comfortable, and then just doing fuzzy guard after dashing elbow is just really, it shows you how stupid this move is, right? Because it's like, there is no spacing when it comes to this, with this move existing. That's why he forces guess all the time, because he's like, he just cuts the neutral. It's like this stupid thing. So then they have to do things like evade throw. And that's actually kind of hard to do, because if they evade late, that throw can be ducked under. So like, so then it depends on, you know, where in the, so evade throw is really just evade mix up for them dealing with it. So his dashing elbow is very oppressive because it's a normal elbow, but with long range. Now, if I'm doing this, you can take different approaches on your okizeme, right? So one approach, yes, is trying to do better meaties. But if you're feeling on the day that you just don't have the meaty timing, then you can bait this, like, you can bait me doing this shoulder ram, right? You can just kind of like, what you can do is you can block and mix up because it's -8 on block, or you can just whiff punish it. So what you can do is stand there and then do 4-6P when you see me whiff it, right? Like this, right? And then the thing, why is this? Do you know why this shoulder is really annoying?
It's like 12 frames, right?
It's not 12 frames, but what it is that it's partially a crush. Shoulders have a potential to crush high attacks, on top of the fact that they are fast. So if you're slow in the neutral, this thing will also win against a lot of high attacks. It's not a clean crush, but it is. But it works like a crush against a lot of high attacks. So that's why. So what you want to do is you want to block and mix up after it, right?
Yeah.
And so by default, you want to block it and do something like super dashing elbow if you could. But you could actually block it and do like 4-6P plus K or 4-6 PKG, either of those, because those are 19 frames. So they work in the plus, like, again, you're +8. You only need +7 to pretty much beat anything, to beat a low punch. So I want you to practice this, okay? I'm going to do this, and you're gonna block it and do a back forward move, okay? There, see? And it beat the low punch. See? Now the risk is, with these moves, is if I evade those things, right? So the risk to you is if I evade like that, right? Because then I get a free punish.
Yeah.
Good.
That's where because remember you either do 4-6 PK or 4-6 PKG.
You're right. Well, to a degree, but the fact is it's actually, here's the answer. Okay, so we've established that in this mix-up situation, I put myself in this mix-up because you blocked the shoulder, right? And you're using an attack because you don't want me to mash, right? You're like, okay, stop mashing. Okay. So then I do evade because I'm going to punish this, that you're using a half sticker, but not only that, a punishable one. Okay, so what do you think the answer is to evade? It's
throw.
Correct. So now do that, right? So block this, right? There you go. So the important thing is to remember that throw is a mix-up here. It is perfectly good to throw. If somebody is sidestepping and you want to, it's hard to see it in match, but you really want to recognize that they're doing sidestep. Throw just is a clean way. It is generally it's the best answer. If they're doing movement like evade canceling of any kind, as long as you can sync the timing. So if they're buffering evade, then especially throw is strong. Now in the neutral, it's scarier to do because they might duck under, because they might cancel the evade and just get in time to be able to duck the throw. That's why throwing doesn't feel secure, because you're trying to do it in the neutral. But if you do it like in a situation where you block shoulder ram, it's so strong. And then you don't even have to worry like, okay, so yes, this is the actual punish, right? If I want to call you out for throwing. So that, right, if I did throw escape, you don't have to worry, right? So for example, do back throw, do core circle back throw after blocking this, right? So I escape, not a big deal, right? We're still fighting. You just have to not make a mistake, or not make a mistake. You have to just know that you're still fighting after the throw escape. But that throw escape didn't threaten you. The thing that threatens you is if I combo you, right? And so that's why your attack wins, right? So it is just a straight up mix up situation, and you just need to just get yourself comfortable mixing up, especially when you play Akira. And remember, because you get to mix up off everything. If you counter hit with this high punch, you get to mix up. If they don't fuzzy guard, when you jab them in general, you get to mix up. If they don't fuzzy guard almost any of these, and so when you hit them with dashing elbow, if they don't fuzzy guard, you get to mix up. It's strong, right? It's only weak if they can actually do this. This is hard in a real life match. It's hard to get hit by dashing elbow and fuzzy guard. And on top of that, if you tried to bait it, the problem is the Akira player does like super dashing elbow and it knocks you down. So, so it's like, so mixing up dashing elbow and super dashing elbow is really strong, right? Super dashing elbow we can see because he switches stance when he does it, right? And it's scary because it's knockdown on normal hit, but it's combo on counter hit. It's so scary. So such an oppressive move, and like you can't really backdash. You can only like backdash and evade. And some Akira players do it so slow that you evade before the attack. And what happens when we evade before the opponent attacks in this game?
You get counter hit.
Like no, you don't get counter hit, but the delay attack will hit you. Yeah, the counter hit comes from you evading the wrong way against a half circular. That will be a counter hit. But if you evade before doing a super dashing elbow, it's not going to be a combo. It's going to be a normal hit. It's going to be, yeah. So it's just so it's a little different. But that's because you're not attacking. But the half circular is the case where you can get counter hit when sidestepping. So that is the high reward for these half circulars. But the problem then is that these half circulars are very evade punishable, right? So like, we'll do it again. I want you to do back forward punch and kick after blocking my shoulder, okay?
Okay.
And I can do that for free, right? I can do even better. So we'll demonstrate to the audience that I can do a really like not slow, but not the fastest launcher, like something that has an input tax on time. So I can do like 3-3P. That alone will show you that that's really scary, right? You know.
Yeah.
So the huge risk when you do these half circulars is if they evade the correct way, it's then you're in deep trouble. That's the risk for doing it. Then the reward, hopefully the reward matches that risk, and oftentimes they don't as much. But yeah, so yeah, right. And I can do a full combo if I knew how to do it with Akira. So yeah. By the way, I'm going to double check chat. So Platinum Trophy says, after playing VF for 2 days, my opinion changed. Catch throws ain't bad, but I still hate guard breaks. I understand. Guard breaks are very annoying, and that you will probably hate them for a long time, but I appreciate your patience and dealing with them. And you'll start learning in VF, of course not in other games, that sometimes there are different defensive options than guard, right? There's crouching, there's evading, and then when you get evade cancel, that's really good. But evade cancel, as we showed, just loses to throw, flat out, right? And catch throw. But yeah, I like everything about Virtua Fighter besides guard break. I respect that. I really hate hard guard breaks. Yeah, the good thing is, you know, in, so go ahead and guard, and in Final Showdown, Akira, this was guaranteed on guard break.
Yeah, that shit used to
that is really nasty, right? But now he's got to do like, you know, dashing elbow or PK, you know. So he doesn't get as much, but now he wants to like guard break you from the side, right? So now he wants to like just guard break from the side to get something, and I don't know how to play Akira, so I don't have my muscle memory practice on it, so you won't see me do that as much, even though I do it with Lao. But it is funny. But the thing is, this super dashing elbow got better. In Final Showdown and Ultimate Showdown, this super dashing elbow was actually short ranged. And so you could actually backdash punish him if you knew he was going to go for this particular one. He had to really have a little bit of a stronger read on when he did the super dashing elbow. But hey, Soyo Kai, I hope you're doing really, really well. Today we're having fun. We're training with J.Valentine. All right, let's keep fighting. Thanks a lot for hearing me out on all that. And please let me know, do you have a question or something that you did want to work or just spar?
I gotcha.
Very good. Very good for stagger break and guard. We're going to make you get good at breaking this stagger. It's not the hardest stagger, but it's one you get used to. We're going to traumatize you with it, but then you're going to overcome the trauma and break the stagger and and then play the guessing game that comes from the stagger. That's awesome. Yeah, I do like that they gave an easy input for the Byakko on that. I just have to train it in my muscle memory. So this thing is such a nasty skill check. This like shoulder now from the side, it's really brutal. So remember, when you see this PK hitting you, You can fuzzy guard. That's the second easiest place to fuzzy guard because there's so much time for you to realize it. And PK punish is the most common punish, right? Whiff punish and guard punish. Now, right now, your default is to do evade, which is good. But then that means that I have to mix in throw if I do. And I might not. I might just keep doing dashing elbow because it's not as risky. But it's giving me good rewards when I hit. But you can make it risky eventually. That said, Akira can like, you know, reverse, right? Now with you, it's hard to reverse because I think you're prioritizing speed, so you're more likely to go with like high and low. But the risk for that is stuff like this. Platinum trophy. I am glad that everything else you're enjoying in VF. Keep at it. I'm so happy to hear that you're enjoying VF. And there's a lot of VF players that also hate guard break, so I understand. Very nice. I like that. This shoulder ram is it's like the first skill gap for Akira, right? It's really hard to break that stagger on the side, but it's doable. That's it. After this set, we'll take a moment to talk about stagger breaks and what you do know about them. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Good. Good. Okay. What do you feel when you're fighting my Akira right now?
Okay, so I think a lot of it is when I end up getting on defense, like against you, I think I struggle a lot because you're pretty good at like actually running like your offense, just like base franchise. So like we try to like play like evades, you're pretty good at like catching my delay timings.
Yeah.
And then like whenever you feel like you can throw me, you definitely get on my ass for that and throw me immediately. On offense, I just don't think I'm playing like RPS as confidently as I should because like I think a lot of it is like I just resort to like just basic strike, and then like I try to catch your evades with more delay moves, but like I'm just trying to throw you more anytime with your gun to evade.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I'm playing more off the assumption that like with you evading like at general timings,
yeah,
I'm just gonna get blown up. Instead of just like, all right, you know, you invade like a shoulder. I'm like in Itaku now, so it's like I kind of just have to guess.
Okay, so a couple things then. I'll show you a couple techniques too. So let's go ahead and jump into there, and we'll talk. And there's going to be more of a walk and talk. Okay, defense. It's good that you know evade is a defense option. I think at where you're at right now, I do think you're evading too much. And evading is very risky to do against Akira. I know everybody says his moves are all linear, but the thing is that the safe way to deal with evading is delay attacking, actually, with the safe move. So I want you to try. Can you do crouch dash with 3-2-3 instead of 3-3? So there's 3-3 and then there's 3-2-3. Yeah, this technique alone. Homestay Akira will do this like a lot against someone that's stepping a lot. This is causing a delay into this. So if your opponent evades, like buffers and evade, this thing will catch it. And it puts you at very little risk. It'll just stop them. And that's one way. Of course, throwing is another, and throwing is the clear. Now, throwing is Throwing is really good when it's like when they're minus quite a bit and they're evading. Because they're buffering the evade, there's a higher chance they've got so many frames that they could be inputting that evade and that it'll just do it. So that's the case. So like if you're blocking the shoulder, that's why throwing is really good when you block the shoulder. Throwing is also good if we're close up. If we're really close and I do the side kick, then it's good. Okay. Now this is fuzzy guardable, so that's the problem. Is that these two moves he can fuzzy guard after. That's okay. You should still test them and throw just to see. But once you see that they're fuzzy guarding, then you switch to how to fight fuzzy guard. Okay. But that comes later. But right now, but if you were to block this shoulder, it's a very clear case where throwing is very strong because they've moved themselves close to you. And if they sidestep, then that, right? But you can also do that, test out the delay thing when I evade too, right? So block this and then do the 3-3, the delayed elbow, okay? Right, see? And so this is a safe way to deal. Now that said, I still think when it comes to this shoulder, throwing is a very powerful anti-evade option. You should do throwing. Like, you're not worried about the spacing. I brought myself to range 0, right? Like, who took themselves to close range? I did. The attacker did, right? So that's why you don't have to worry about range. And then on top of that, I'm -8. So even if I do fuzzy guard, your throw's gonna win, right? So it just means you have to buffer the throw a little earlier. Because in that case, this was that you delayed the throw. Delayed throw will lose 2 of it. We'll lose 2 of it. But, right? There we go. Fuzzy guard lost, right? Fuzzy guard just lost. Fuzzy guard lost again, right? Now, I did evade throw escape, but we're still fighting. So, right? So, and you didn't take any damage, right? So the only time you have to worry about throw is if I do that. That's the only time you got to really worry about it. So you can do throw until you see me do it, and you don't have to feel bad that like you lost that situation. You were waiting for it. That getting used to that will allow you to make mix-ups not feel so scary, right? So the more life you have, the more blocking the shoulder into throw is a good option. The less life you have, then you probably do want to just default do an attack because of how scary it is if you got killed by like PK or any attack, right? You know. So that's the first thing, is that sidestepping is strong, but it's a precision option. It carries more risk with the potential for more reward. But here's another thing I want you to think about when it comes to sidestepping. Sidestepping is better if they do a slower attack. It's worse if they do a basic attack.
Yeah.
Okay? Guarding is just fine almost always. The only thing is just you just have to know when they are plus on block, and it's really just this against Akira, right? It's this and it's this, right? So these are like the two main plus on block, or if you're side turn, maybe, okay? But generally speaking, it's really this, right? So this is, are you comfortable doing this one? Good. And then when you see this, I want you to practice throwing me after you hit me with this, okay? Like after you hit me with the dashing elbow. So this is something I do drill people on, which is jab into dashing elbow into throw. And the reason is this is a case where actually you could input the throw too early and nothing comes out. So I want you to get used to that. When you get a counter hit, the thing is when the input buffer is generous at 12 frames, but when you counter hit with this, with anything almost, it's actually like you have like more than 12 frames of stun. So it's possible to input the throw too early if you mash it, right?
Yeah.
But if you but then it's one of those things where you want to drill this, and you can set the AI to drill this so that you can mix up, and then you start mixing it up with the mid of your choice, throw over mid, right? So jab, so you block the jab, or you do jab, dashing elbow into throw. Yep, there you go. And so as long as you get the timing down for this sequence, pretty good, right? Now this one is a little slow because I think I would have been able to jab. And it doesn't work on low jab, so it's because, yeah, that was really good. That one was great. Good, very good. This sequence is just so strong. Now, that said, it has a weakness. The weakness is this. This is the counter to this sequence. But this, you ended up doing a delay dashing elbow.
Yeah.
So the delay dashing elbow.
That was just muscle memory, my bad.
Yeah, I know. I know that wasn't intentional, but it's good to understand why that worked. And why eventually you want to master that. You want to have that under control. You want to delay when you want to delay, and you want to buffer when you want to buffer, right? But this is the weakness to jab elbow. This is how you punish jab elbow. You evade and you throw. And notice, it's not a side throw. Most of the time, this will be a regular throw situation, even though it was after evade.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. We're making it clear to the audience. Oh no, it crashed out. It's okay. We start a new room.
It ain't even yeah, I was gonna say this shit ain't even Tuesday. Sorry, my perspective at times been so fucked up. College life got me feeling something.
All good. All good. Yeah. Hey Ray, good to see you. Yeah, we're doing a little late night training tonight. Oh, so okay, that's awesome that you were doing the hard version before. Oh, whoops, sorry, I disbanded the room. I'm just to create a new one, just in case.
No, you're all good.
But Soyokai said that he learned how to do the hard way, the manual way of doing a buffered double palm off of guard break before learning the canned version that they added to Revo, where you can just do half circle back forward punch. But the half circle back forward punch messes with my brain a little because I'm just not used to doing it. So yeah, and we're just gonna go over situations again just to kind of get you just making sure that you're comfortable with these concepts because you're doing really good. It's just more about why are we training these things? Why do the more advanced players, Akira players, use dashing elbow more than the other options? Dashing elbow is just so strong. This shoulder is strong until but it puts Akira in a guessing situation if you block it, right? So it's like, good. But then that's the punish for half circular, right? So, okay, your opponent is doubling down on evade punishment, right? But you're still worried about other things, so what could you do? They're -8. What's a really safe mid you can do?
3-2-3-P?
You could do that, but actually dashing elbows fine. so just buffering dashing elbows is always dashing elbows is always a good option. But it's not a wrong answer. This 3-2-3-P is good, but what I'm saying is that okay. So the thing about this thing is actually what it's really used for is in the neutral. Like when somebody is playing around with like evades. Now that said, I would delay like that, right? I would just really create more space, backdash, and then evade a little later. That's what I do against Akira to cover that. And so that said, the Akira can just keep dashing forward though. and then right? He can just do it like with Akira. Dashing forward is a flowchart, right? Because he's got dashing elbow, he's got super dashing elbow, right? He can do this, he can do this, he can do this, he can do this. He can do this, he can do this, right? These are all off of forward dash, right? It's such a scary, it's so scary the things he can do off of forward dash. It does it. Other people can do it too. His move list though really just makes it easy. Back forward inputs are almost always made to work with back dash and forward dash, right? So get used to doing like forward, back forward throw, right? Forward, half circle back throw, right? Forward, back forward P plus K, forward, back forward P plus K G. So you see, like you can do any of these things off of a forward dash, and then you can guard, and you can also forward dash into evade for a delayed evade. Very strong, right? And this is what's scary about Akira. He can play almost all of the ranges pretty well, and so because of that, you're always having to guess against a very aggressive Akira. As long as they're mixing up. If they're not mixing up, you don't have to guess. You just have to beat what they're doing without changing, right? But the fact is but that said, again, you don't mix up just to be random. But as long as you have a mix, even just one time doing the alternative thing, at least your opponent will have to think about the possibility that you'll do the other thing, even if you don't do it for the rest of the game, right? But always beat what your opponent's doing. So it's this balance of whether you impose the chaos or whether you just, or if you know that you've won the battle, then yes, you stay on that advantage and you keep beating them until they change.
Okay.
And when you keep beating them until they change, the good thing is you're probably going to have a positive balance. You're probably profitable. So the moment they change up, you don't need to worry. You just go, oh, they have now they're trying to catch up, but I'm ahead. So you can do with that as you will. You don't have to be afraid of mix-ups.
I think that's one thing. It's like, I actually was kind of thinking about this, because like this game's really fast-paced, and like mix is like I could play anime games and stuff. So like mix usually comes from like, all right, I knocked you down, hold my plus frames, guess type shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, but strike throw, just like, strings and whatnot. But this game, I think it may also just be like a Kira syndrome, because like he doesn't really like do strings like that to like fuck you up.
Yeah.
But like this character's really just like, all right, get my plus frames, run my incentive, and then eventually, you like try eventually do things to call out certain defensive options, but like most of it is like you're just trying to perma beat in that ass.
Yeah.
And then when you recognize that they're like kind of fucking up, you can go like change the time to battle. It's like, all right, you're evading a shit ton. Let me throw you. Then you get scared of that. And then you start doing like shit like this.
Right.
Throw them, do your bigger moves. They're scared to mash. Like.
Yep.
Things like that nature.
How do you feel about Virtua Fighter right now?
So VF has been very weird for me to learn initially. Zin and Jed, they were the ones that taught me like initially like a lot of the core basics of the game.
They're very their fundamentals are very strong. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, they're not good. I was like, so a thing I did not realize is like, if this game is fast, but I didn't realize inherently what that actually meant. It's like, yeah, it's like a constant mix of shit, but like everything you kind of do has to be pretty fucking fast. Like, like even like buffering shit. Like you want to talk about like 5 this, and then like, oh yeah, if you mess with your buffer, it counts as a delay now. Yeah. And then it catches the fade. And it's like, I was uneventually like doing shit that wasn't frame tight and kind of winning off of that fact. Or like, accidentally delaying stuff. So it's like getting used to how fast this game is just existing has been really weird. Because I cover games with no buffer. And this game's like, oh yeah, buffering, you have to be able to do this or you can't play the game really.
Yeah, well, because if you don't buffer, you can be taken advantage of, and you're gonna lose sense of control. You're gonna be like you're gonna also think that the game is like lagging, and it's not. It's you. It's like.
I was like Fence. I played some of Fence, and he was like telling me, "It's like a big thing I was listening for you is like you just aren't fast." I'm like, I felt like I was buffering shit. It was like apparently it's like I wasn't doing it in the way it should. It's just gotta be fast like every aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Which is really tantalizing, but it gets really fucking exhausting after a while. It's not a bad thing. Like it's good. It's a good feeling. It's like after you work out and shit. It's like damn. Like after playing like really long sets in this game, I'm like, god damn, I gotta take a break and like let my brain like relax, like process what the fuck happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and well, I mean, in this game, I think when you get used to the way that it's going to read your controls, then I think the game's controls are actually simple. And I think a lot of the execution stuff is, compared to a lot of fighting games, I think is actually simple. The complexity is the fact that you got to do all this stuff so fast and rapidly. Like, that's where it's fast. It's fast because we're in because of how many situations per round you're going through. Right? There's a lot of other games where you might only go through about 5 situations because 2 of those situations flat out won the round. In a lot of games. In this game, it could be that, but more often than not, it's a lot of situations going on. Even if there's 2 combos that seal it, but like the scramble is real in this game, right? And so you're just kind of ready to go next. Like you're just like, next situation. You have no time to dwell on what you just lost, but if you can, try to learn from it, right? And but the game is very fast-paced, and it's really think fast. And so it takes a while to get used to because it's fast in a different way than a lot of other fighters might be too. Because a lot of other fighting games give you a lot of time, and a lot of fighting games give you a lot of signals that you're not aware of, right? When, like in a lot of, especially 2D fighters, because of how fast the startup frames of their attacks are, a lot of them are designed with a lot of stun recovery and a lot of like exaggerated stuff, because that signals to the player, oh, we're now into the next situation, and it gives you something to feed off of. If they didn't have that, it would have been like, it would just be too much like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. In which case, VF, I think, to players coming from other fighting games, it can look like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, because this game looks like it's eternal neutral, right? Because you're just so many non secure situations, right? You don't checkmate people that easily in this game. You only checkmate them by actually outthinking them at every step, and that's not a checkmate. That's not a check. It's just more guessing, you know. So, hey, Nanimeg, it's so good to see you. They said just dropped in post SWW. Sorry for not following. No, not a problem at all. Have a good night and rest well. And thank you so much for your support, Nanimeg. So good to see you. All right, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you said that our neighbors, like, VF is kind of interesting in the sense, like, there's like, you said there's like very few checkmates in this game, and the way it kind of is that you checkmate just by being better. It's like,
yeah, by guessing better. You know, like you can actually you can be checkmated by a weak opponent if what they're doing counters everything you do, right? You know, and so by luck, right? And so that is an also insecure feeling when you feel like you could lose to quote unquote luck. But then again, if you're the better player, you needed to kind of see through what the opponent's doing, and this game gives you a lot of ways to hack mix-ups. Do you know what I mean by hacking mix-ups?
No.
Okay, so it's hard to do it with Akira versus Akira. But I mean, I can do it I can show layered defense with Akira, but hacking is a little different. So I would have to change characters. But to hack the mix-up, like let's say I do the shoulder, you block it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is not a perfect example. This is going to be, because this is actually just doubling down on defense. This is just layered defense. So let's say you're always going to do a fast mid that you can do. It can be 6K, it can be whatever, okay? Right. Just as long as it's not two-handed attack. So as long as I know it's not a two-handed attack, okay? And then now mix and throw, right? So of course fuzzy, like I can't fuzzy guard this, so throw would win, right? If you buffer the throw would win.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, and keep doing the core circle back throw when you do this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so there's this. So now, I want you to see what I'm doing, so I want you to do the mid again.
Oh, my bad.
Do you figure out what I just did?
Wait, is that a what?
Yeah. Well, in theory, yes, but what all it is I'm doing reversal, but I'm also putting a throw escape after it. So like that, right? So if that's your mix up, right, then it's like, but then the thing is that slow attacks will beat it, and mixing up the throw is going to beat this. This is just doubling down on defense, right? So I just do this, mid reversal into a throw escape, right? Now, you shouldn't do reversals when you're plus like a lot, right? Because you're going to reversal early. But when you do reversals, you should do a guard throw escape there, right? Or evade throw escape if you want to. So you do want to know, you should always be doing guard throw escape. Like anytime you're not buffering, guard throw escape should be one of the things you're probably doing. You know? And the thing is, I do have to double check because a lot of people don't know this for a while. You do know that you can buffer while holding guard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like a big way. Like, Fence is talking to me about that, where you do like, hold this, they just do that, release speed.
Right, and it looks like you're doing it out of nowhere, right? But you know what's a funny one is this one here. This is funny. So like backdash. So you do back, forward, and then hold the forward, and then press the punch plus kick a little later. So this is playing with the buffer. See how I took that step?
Yeah.
I think it's funny because sometimes if your opponent whiffs, you can like see that they whiff and just hit punch and kick while holding forward. Do you know about the deep body check? Yeah. So it's a body check. Okay, so do back forward forward P plus K, right? Really fast. That's the fast way, and that's a standard way to do it. But Akira has rewards for delaying it, and I'll show you how to delay it. So first, do a normal body check. Okay. So now, I want you to do back forward forward, but on that second forward, I want you to hold it so that he does a forward dash. And at the end of the dash, then hit punch and kick. See how much you can delay that? This is what we call deep body check. And the thing is, go ahead and do it.
Oh, my bad. I'm fucking up.
There you go. If you do it correctly, the counter hit can be like half life.
Yeah.
So the deep body check is fun. So this is what I'm doing here. Back, back, forward, forward. See how I took steps?
Yeah.
So it's a fun one to do for me. It's dumb, but it's just fun. But it's also because this body check itself, the attack itself is very fast.
Yeah.
And so this becomes a very scary thing that Akira can do too. That's not a high level technique, it's just understanding that you can use dashes with the buffer too. Right? But you can even do that too.
One question I was gonna ask, because I low-key have been kind of lost in this. Can you explain the tech system to me in this game?
What's that?
Ground teching, or I think it would be like Ukemi.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you want to know? What?
Specifically the options of like what you have and also how you can actually do them.
Okay. All right, no problem. So like, let's say I combo you. That's tech roll in place, right? That's quick rise. So you press PKG. So then show me down and up, okay? So that's up, okay? And that's down, right? Okay. Now the thing about that, that's the first step, is understanding the Ukemi or the quick options.
Yeah.
Things to know about it. When you do it in place, you're gonna be recovering standing. And when you do it up or down, you're gonna be recovering crouching, but you can defend. Now here's the thing. Let's say I do this. Okay. Okay, so this one. Yeah, let's do this. So the crazy thing about that is that this, when I knock you down with this, if I time it well with, now the thing is you can mess with the timing on these tech options. So you can try doing it a little slow and you can try doing it a little fast, okay? That's important. Because what happens if I try to do a meaty and I meaty too early? What happens?
You get punished.
No, well, what happens before I punish?
Right?
Well, minus, but what else? Okay, does it hit if I'm too early?
Nah.
No, it whiffs, right? You're invincible while you're doing the tech roll or quick rise just until the moment that you're not. Okay? Now, for that moment that you're not, there are 3 frames. The first 3 frames that you're vulnerable from those Ukemi options, you cannot attack. You cannot do anything except to either guard or not guard, crouch or stand. That's all you can do. Okay? So if I perfectly time my meaty, I'm trying to make sure that my hit frames line up exactly with that moment of vulnerability with the margin of error of about 3 frames total. Okay, does that make sense yet? Does that make sense there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm early though, the risk is that I will whiff. And if I whiff, I'm probably minus a lot, like you were saying, right?
Yeah.
And that means you might punish me, or at the very least, you would be able to mix up against me. Okay? So it really sucks if I'm early. Okay, if I'm late now having explained what we call meaty timing, those 3 frames, late just means that my meaty is not going in those 3 frames, it's going after. What is the risk now of my meaty? If my meaty is late, what should I be worried about now? Evade is probably the biggest one I'd worry about. Of course, then that means mix up because throw could be good too, right?
Yeah.
But evade, but they can now evade your media if you're late. And that's what you've seen when I blow people up. You've also seen me use crazy properties like Leon's. Okay, so earlier I said that this shoulder ramp is partially a crush. It will beat a lot of high attacks, and it might even beat some mids, but not really. It's really the highs. Okay, so this thing will beat people that are trying to, Tekken 1-2. And so if you're coming from Tekken, have like a 1-2 habit, meaning they'll do left punch, right punch, right? Or this, like this thing will just wreck them, because this will go under their high punch. So, but Leon's uppercut is similar to this shoulder. Leon's uppercut can win weird situations where frame-wise it shouldn't. Okay? So I'll just put that out there. And it's been like that since VF2, since Leon came out. It's a weird move, and it's a weird hurt box property, and it's not that common in Virtua Fighter, but Leon's is one that does it a lot. And it's hard to even say the exact situations where it does, because you would make a huge list of them, because it's kind of frame dependent, depending on what move they did. So, but for me, a lot of times when I win with that uppercut, though, it's not exactly because of that, though that's one of the consequences. It's really because a lot of times people are just a bit late on their wake up or on their meaty. Okay, so we talked about the ukemi. The ukemi is the first step. Okay, what is the risk if I don't ukemi?
You can get Geb attack, or no, you can get
ground combo.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
You can get down attacked, yeah, but you know what? You can also get beat up off the ground, right? So, right. I mean, earlier you saw the consequences, or you saw me you can this thing would work against somebody that's knocked down, right? So if you don't tech roll, see that? Right, and so stuff like so if you don't tech roll so I don't like calling these fake combos. They're real combos if the opponent doesn't tech.
Okay.
And the opponent might not tech because they're afraid of getting meatied. But in my case, it's because I'm counting on you doing the meaty. So my reverse read waking up is that I think you're going to go for the meaty, so I'll stay down, and then I'll try to get up fast enough. So what are the options then? So we'll talk about the manual wake up options and how to do them. Okay, so manual wake up options. So the first decision point, are they going to ukemi or are they not going to ukemi? So if they're going to ukemi, I should do a meaty because it's such a huge advantage for me. But I can just mix up too. So if they're going to ukemi, I can mix up because they're at the biggest disadvantage in the game, right? And Akira can do stuff like guard break, he can do throw, he could do a low if he wants to, but he can also do an oppressive mid, he can do this and threaten, though this is not really good because people should always duck this high punch. Under the pressure of a match, you'll see some high level players, even high level players, not punishing this when they should. It always blows Shidosha's mind, but it's because they're just not expecting the opponent to actually do this thing. So it's just not on their radar. It becomes a blind spot. So that said, so now we have the incentive for meaty because we think they're going to tech roll or quick rise, right? And Akira is really scary. The scariest one. We'll cover this before we go to the next step. So when Akira knocks down with this, he can dash in and do this. Now at a very special timing, if he gets it right and they block, so try to block, okay? Ah, crap. Okay. PK, if I get it if I get side connect on it, I could PK you. It's guaranteed. So this is a very oppressive wake up option here. Like this one, and I can do a lot more, but against the wall, I could do this.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed. It's really scary.
Yeah, hell fucking damage.
Yeah, and so basically, this is a case where if I've got you here, and I do this, and I hit you with it, you probably want to just stay down. Akira's opponent would want to stay down, just because they don't want to eat. They don't want to end up because either they get hit by this and get comboed, or they block it and then get comboed. It's really oppressive. This is one of the very few truly oppressive Okizeme setups to where the guess becomes, are you going to tech or not? And so the opponent wants to convince Akira that they're not going to tech, and then they can tech when they outguess Akira. But they want to convince Akira they're not going to tech there, right? So this is just a powerful setup because of this, if you master the timing. Now, tricky thing about the timing, now the reason it's oppressive actually is because this move has a lot of hit frames.
Yeah. And that's why I've been trying to use it, like, to me a good amount, because, like,
Yeah.
even if my timing isn't super strict,
Yeah.
like, if I can just go slightly, like, delayed, it usually will catch just because how active it is.
This move is like an ultimate meaty move too. It's because there's so many hit frames, and you come from anime fighters, so you kind of know already probably what happens when you make contact with later hit frames instead of earlier ones. What happens?
Oh yeah, I'm way more plus.
You're more plus, yeah. So for each frame, for each later hit frame, that's the one that actually makes contact. The stun, it's the same stun, but because it happened later, now the stun is extended, and so the amount that you're plus is even more than otherwise. So you end up being more plus, and this move having like 6 hit frames can be +5 over the normal situation. And on Wake Up, on the Okizeme that we just showed, if it makes contact and you're sideways, that means that like it's got a bonus. It's got enough bonuses to guarantee stuff. It's really scary. So this thing is, you want to get used to to dash in almost like a full dash and then do it. Yeah, because and eventually you'll get the timing down because it's not that hard, but it is really oppressive, right? It takes a while to get used to though, but it is very powerful if you master that one. It is one of the few where that's truly actually the closest thing to oppressive we have in this game. But having said that, I also, what did I tell you about the Ukemi? What can the opponent do about Ukemi, even if they choose to Ukemi? Now this situation doesn't help as much. No, they can. Well, okay, but they can delay their timing. They can change their timing.
Yeah.
So they don't. There are some knockdowns. There's only one timing for Ukemi. Like you have to, the ones where you have to perfectly time it, otherwise you don't get it. But most knockdowns you get to do it late or early, and because of that alone messes with the opponent's timing for meaty. So meaty is not like, some people are like, I can meaty all the time in training mode. Why can I not meaty in matches? Must be the lag. It's like, it's not the lag. It's I'm constantly changing the timing of my wake up. So that you don't feel any sense that your meaty is gonna, like, because I want to make it so that your meaty is probably gonna fail at least 1 out of 3, but hopefully 2 out of 3 times. And if that happens, you're gonna feel very weird about doing that meaty. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this game, the Okizeme, the basics of the Okizeme is that the person doing the Okizeme has insane advantage. Insane advantage. Very powerful situation for the person that's doing the Okizeme actually, because they get at least a mix-up and sometimes more, and it's a setup for really powerful plays. Maybe not compared to some other fighters, but for Virtual Fighter, these are powerful plays. So the potential to completely, constantly beat somebody over and over with Okizeme is very strong. It's one of my Leon strengths. It's why I'm considered a momentum player, because if I start figuring your wake up pattern out, or if I figure out your habit on wake up, I've been known to constantly just knock people over and over until the end of the round, and that's because Okizeme can be that oppressive. That said, so the person with Okizeme has all the advantages. On the flip side, the person waking up can totally mess with the timing. Can totally mess with it, usually. Not always. There are some knockdowns where they can't, but most of the time, the person waking up can mess with the timing. They can make it slower, they can make it faster, and that sometimes is enough to make the meaty less secure. But that said, this thing into this is really oppressive because of those 6 hit frames. That means that like once I've got the general timing down, it's gonna be hard to mess this up. So it's really powerful. So then so now let's go to the next options. Manual wake up. And this is good. We're gonna run through all of them. Okay, what is the first manual wake up that you think of? Just go ahead and tell me the first one you think of.
Oh, wake up kick.
Wake up kick. Okay, good. So wake up kick's a good one, and Akira is a special case on this. All right. Akira is a special case because all of his wake up kicks can be evaded. But that means Akira has the worst wake up game. But that said, so wake up kick is we've got. Do you know what change? Okay, so you got a mid wake up kick and you got a low mid wake up kick. But what is the other factor that determines what wake up attack happens? Do you know what it is? Do you know what changes
I think it's face down, face up.
Yeah, it's the body position, correct. So whether you're standard would be face up, face up and head away, right? This is standard because this is a normal knockdown, right? But if I crumple you, it's going to be face forward, head down, right? Or head forward, face down, right?
Yeah.
So even if I do this, you kind of know this one, right? And this one is going to change what rising attack you do. Now that said, all of, so this is the one where Akira gets a knockdown low one, but it's still not good to do because they can evade and punish you. They can evade and launch you.
Yeah.
Akira is very evadable, and there is a technique. If you look at where his head is facing when he's knocked down, you can determine which way to evade. That's the key to the trick. That's an Akira thing. Okay, Akira is also weird because his normal wake up kicks have a different frame data set than others. For most characters, in addition to rising attack, what can you do when you're waking up?
You can do manual roll, right?
Yes.
Those are like back roll.
So you can do there's 3 directions of roll, so we're going to cover those, okay? First, actually, we're going to cover the non-roll option. So the fast way to wake up is actually mashing punch and spinning the stick. Are you playing on stick or leverless or pad?
I'm playing on hitbox.
On hitbox? Okay. So I want you to just hit a bunch of, when I knock you down, hit a bunch of directions and mash punch, okay? Just punch.
Yeah.
And if you do this, this is the fast way to get up. Using punch, because punch doesn't correspond with wake up kick, and punch does not correspond with roll. So because of that, you can get up a little faster by spinning the stick and, or in your case, hitting lots of inputs and mashing punch. Okay.
Can you hold guard during this?
The problem is guard triggers your side roll.
Okay.
So the thing is now, okay, let's talk about the roll. So in the case of the roll, here's how you wake up quickly with the roll. Go ahead and press after when you're knocked down or before you even touch the ground, press up and guard, and then after that, kind of mash between guard and punch. You can just alternate them. You can piano them, guard punch, guard punch, guard punch, guard punch, right? And you can do it but start it by pressing up and guard. And then do that. And you can also mash the directions after that too. Once you've inputted that up and guard. Once you've inputted the up and guard, it's telling the game that that's what you want to do.
Okay.
And this will increase how you do it. So you'll get used to doing this. Now start doing it. Yeah. Do it just a little before you hit the ground. Okay, and eventually you'll get good at doing this faster. And you can also press down and guard and mash that. Can you hear that? Here's what I actually do. When I do it, I actually slide my hand over on my right hand, and so that now the index finger is pressing guard and the middle finger is pressing punch, and that way I can do this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I do that when on wake up, so that you can kind of wake up quicker there. Now that said, I'm not known for fast wake up because I tend to be more about delaying than not. But so you can do that. And this is important actually against Leon versus Taka. If we were to jump out of this session, it would be I would have you play Taka and I would play Leon, and and that one will show you that there is timing involved in the most extreme cases. But okay, so now I'm gonna knock you down, and you go ahead and roll and do different wake up kicks with it. So practice rolling up into rising attack, okay? If you want, start with holding up. Start with just holding up while you mash guard and punch, okay? But start with mashing guard first. It's really important. Actually, in this case, you can do punch too, but just alternate between guard and punch is what I'm saying. You're not mashing them together. You're alternating between guard and punch. This is how you do it really fast. You can hear how I'm doing it, right? So I want you to hold up and mash guard punch, guard punch, guard punch, guard punch in sequence. Not guard and punch together. Guard then punch, guard then punch, guard then punch. Hey, good to see you, Kasano, again. And hey, Joa, though, I hope you're doing great. So right now, you haven't got a single up roll yet. I want you to up roll into a rising kick.
I can hold up like when I'm getting like mid combo, right? Or do I need to do it like as soon as I land?
You can do it early if you want. I mean, you can mash it. It's just that it really doesn't start counting until around the time that you land. And timing does matter in extreme cases. In extreme cases, timing matters. Most cases, there's no timing involved. You just need to do it. You just need to you can hold up and then hold the up input and then just mash between guard and punch. Yeah, you can also just mash guard if that's what you need to do. But right now I haven't seen you do it yet, so that's why I'm saying. So I want you to roll upwards, yeah, and do a rising attack then. So once you see that once you started rolling, you can just hit kick to rising attack. There you go. And then you can do low kick to do low rising attack. You just need to do it once the roll started, you don't really have to mash anymore. You just need to mash to kind of start it earlier. Otherwise, you'll stay down for a long time. Yeah, there you go. Now, Akira is a special case where his roll away into kick, I think, is not punishable on block, but most characters it is. So most characters. So now this time you can roll up, down. You can also roll away. So I want you to roll away, okay? And rolling away, the timing on the rising attack also tends to change. So that can mess with the opponent. But generally speaking, Akira's an exception. But every other character in the game, when they roll away, if they do a rising attack, it's guard punishable. Okay? So most of the time, if I'm like the guy chasing the opponent, and I see them like rolling away from me, I want to block because I want to punish it. And I would get like this on the low, right? And I would get I'd get double palm on, but it's like minus 15 for most characters. Akira's different. Akira, the normal rising attack actually might be what's punishable. I'm not sure. Try to do a mid. Try to just roll to the up or down, and then kick. Mid kick.
Yeah, my bad.
No problem. I'm not sure about this because I'm really lazy, but yeah. Okay, so roll up or down, then kick.
Me up so much.
I know. It's because you're not used to holding now in VF. Just hold the up or down, or even just match guard punch, guard punch, guard punch, because guard would by default roll to the side. It takes a while for people to learn it, though.
So. I'm holding down during all of this. I don't know why.
You're holding the down direction? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it there.
You'll get used to. Okay, so in this case, start mashing the guard when you're on the ground now, because maybe that's it. For me, I can do it at all times, but and what is your input? It is literally guard by itself, punch by itself, right? It's not together. You're not hitting guard and punch at the same time.
Oh yeah, no. I don't play any macros. I have like standard VF layout where top two is PK. Fucking my kick is.
Oh, if you're using, but you're not hitting guard and punch at the same time, are you?
No, I'm
okay.
alternating it.
Okay, just making sure. Some people will still do that, and I'm like, it's not, that thing will screw up what you're doing. But
yeah, I'm kind of like blinking it.
Okay. Were you able to guard that? Try to guard it next time. So.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah. So generally speaking, you're in Nitaku, so mix-up situation. When someone blocks your rising attack, if you hit with the rising attack, you're usually +2, +3. And so if you're +3, you should do basically dashing elbow. So if you hit me, so go ahead and I'll knock you down. Hit me with the rising attack and then do dashing elbow. But you got to buffer the dashing elbow, so good luck.
Yeah.
We're not. This is like overloading your brain right now.
No, the time is just rough.
It is, but you'll get used to it. Once you get used to it, it'll not be an issue. But I understand. You're not the first person I've seen struggle with the basic wake up options in this game. You can also do 3P, by the way. So if dashing elbow is not doing it, do buffer 3P. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When all else fails, when you're in a situation like this, switch to low punch.
Okay.
Like just like hit me with the rising attack, do a low punch. It's got to be buffered. So, and that's okay. You're mentally stacked as you're learning the wake up options, and this is just part of the process, and I don't mind. So, good. Now move to 3P. Good.
Oh,
Now move to dashing elbow.
Yeah.
Super dashing elbow. There you go. Remember that super dashing elbow is actually slower than dashing elbow.
Yeah,
In fact-
yeah, Space Speed 13, Super
In
Dash
fact,
15.
yeah, so dashing elbow, they made it 13 so that it would effectively act like a 14 frame attack. Because that input creates a delay. So that forward input typically creates a delay. It's hard to execute it without the delay because it requires really good timing before the buffer. And so, yeah. So right now you're doing great. You're doing awesome. Good. So remember, you're only like +2 or 3. You're only +3 when you hit with the rising attack. It's really important to know this. It means that you don't have many options. And it's not exactly a true mix-up situation, but most of the time it functions like that. And dashing elbow is usually the really good option to do. But if you're feeling slow, 3P, switching to 3P is solid. You know, so it is important to assess your own performance and adjust accordingly in this game. This game lets you do it. You can play with suboptimal options and still win a lot. So I find that players that are trying too hard to do the very best thing at the learning stages struggle a lot. But in this game, yeah, and getting good at this jab and the dashing elbow is really important. And so you can set the AI on training mode to block and low punch. That way, then.
I've been doing that to practice a little bit.
Okay, good. Because yeah, this thing is just too good, right? And then getting used to like guessing is right. Now, side situation's different. So if you are able to practice just identifying when your opponent, like when there's side contact, don't stress it too much, but in the back of your mind, just know I want to be able to eventually see that because it changes the frame data. Okay. Aside from that, we've talked about quick options waking up. And then we talked about meaty situation. And we also said if the opponent chooses to stay down, then the big risk is the fact that if the opponent outguesses that, they can do ground combos, right? That's a huge threat. Okay. That's decision point 1. Are they going to tech or are they not? Decision point 2, okay. They did not tech, but I did not do ground combo. So in this case, you force a mix up generally. You threaten, generally you do a meaty also, right? You threaten with a mid attack, and then if you see that this opponent has a tendency to defend, guarding or evade or move, then throwing becomes very strong. Okay, so it means that this is like a mix-up situation, just like every other mix-up situation. And the thing about mix-up situations, the mid attack versus throw, that's not the end. That's just the beginning of mixing up. And when I switch characters, I can show you why that is. Okay, with Akira, it's a little more cut and dry. You just have to do it so fast and all the time. But with other characters, they start having ways to play around generic mix-ups that are too predictable. Okay, and we'll get to that. But that said, okay. So now, okay, they stayed down, and I did not combo them. I did not ground hit them or ground throw. So now, and then there's mix-up option. The other decision point, are they going to do rising attack? And we covered rising attack just now. What did I say is the problem with the Kira's rising attacks?
They can both be evaded.
They can all be evaded. All of them can be evaded, and all of them are either punishable or he gets mixed up when they're evaded. Okay, so yeah, but that said, that's not true for everyone. There's a lot of full circular wake up kicks. Okay, so generally there's generic frame data. If I choose to defend a wake up kick, there's generic frame data for them. And Akira is the exception, but he also has his own rules, okay? But in general, here's the frame data. If I block a rising attack, in general, it's -6. Okay. But if they roll away from me, in general, any wake-up option they do is -15 on guard, except for Akira.
Okay.
Every character except Akira. Other things. Are they going to do a mid rising attack or a low rising attack? What is the easy way to beat a low rising attack? The easiest, most powerful way or the easiest strong way to definitively beat a predictable low rising attack, meaning you're certain they're not going to do a mid rising attack, just the low one.
High crush them.
Yeah, crush them with something that beats low, right? Crush the low.
Very low crush, yeah, my bad.
So, Akira, how does Akira crush the low?
7K or
Yeah,
9K.
9K. Yes, correct. So that's the way he does it. Now that said, that's not exactly the best way, but that is what you do. That is an option you can do, and you can even react and punish low rising attack if your character has a very fast hopping option, right? Leon can do it really fast. Sarah, I think, can do it really fast. I'm not sure if you need. I don't think you need wake up time for this. I don't think you need startup time for this. I think this is pretty much. This can be done late, I think. But I do think it has a lot of frames before it does that kick, so there's a chance of being too late, I think. But generally, this is a very terrifying one. It's so good. But that said, but now there's mid rising attack. Okay. Do you know you can beat a mid rising attack? What do you need to do to beat a mid rising attack?
I assume reversal it, maybe?
Okay, so here's the thing about reversal, though. Only Aoi can reverse full circulars.
Okay.
And she doesn't even reverse them, she parries them when she does it. Akira cannot reverse full circulars, but if it's half circular, you probably can reverse it. That said, that's not the answer. So the answer is this. Akira has this wonderful thing about his move list. Most of his good attacks do 20 or more damage, do more than 20 damage. A lot of them do 25, to be honest. That's a lot in this game. Rising attacks are 20 damage. Flat 20 damage for rising attacks. So now, having said that, what did I tell you about priority earlier today?
Two moves happen around like the same time. The move with the higher damage will win.
Yes. So, given that you know that, how are we going to beat the mid rising attack?
Slam something that has higher damage.
Yeah, does this 21 or more damage? So when you look at the move list, does this do base damage, right? Is the base damage of this attack 21 or more? If it is, it can be the rising attack if you time it perfectly. Okay. Next part. What type of attack could beat a mid rising attack but would lose to a low rising attack?
I would say a high, probably.
Correct. A high would flat out lose to a low rising attack, but it could beat the mid. So generally speaking, we don't really want to do a high attack as our crush or as our rising attack beater. Okay? You could do it, and there are good reasons to do it sometimes, but that is a strong call out. So that's more risk than if you just did the mid. And a lot of launchers in this game are mid. So most of the time, you don't really have to make that choice. You should just do a mid attack, right? And so in the move list, you just look at any attack, especially mid. You could also use a low attack to beat a rising attack if you want as well. So those are viable. That just needs to do 21 damage or more, and you have to be comfortable with the timing. So here's another thing, general thing about the move list though. A lot of the slower moves they don't always, but they might have more hit frames. And we know quarter circle back has a lot of hit frames, right?
Yeah.
But what would you say is, in general, would you expect faster attacks to have more hit frames or less hit frames?
Slower or less hit frames rather?
Probably less hit frames, right? So the margin of error is a little harder. However, what's the advantage for it being a fast attack if it was to beat a rising attack? What would be the advantage that a fast attack would have over a slower attack then?
I was like, outright, it's like if you mess up the timing on the mid-kick punish, you probably have a better chance to either evade or outright just guard it.
So that's the right idea. The idea is this. If you use a fast attack, even though it has only like 2 hit frames, it is fast, meaning you could actually probably react. You might have a chance to react to the rising attack. And so it could actually be done on a skill level. Whereas if you're using a slow attack, you have to set that up. And you have to pretty much predict that they're going to do the rising attack at the timing that you're expecting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So a slower attack is awesome, generally better. But the one downside is it has to be set up. It has to it has to be almost rehearsed, basically. But the other one has to be rehearsed too. It's just that the other one can use skill. The other one can use, when they start up this roll, and I know they're probably gonna do a rising attack, but even if they didn't, this mid attack will probably be safe to do. And so you can actually be reactive with a faster attack. Whereas with a slower attack, it has more room for error, but it needs to be set up. It needs to be you need to kind of hash out that situation and see that, okay, this pretty much covers it pretty well. And I am going to be making a slight read on the timing of when they're going to do the rising attack. Because here's the thing, they can also delay doing the rising attack a little bit, not much, but a little. And it could be enough to affect a melee or an attempt to beat the rising attack. Now, outside of that, then, it is just a mix-up situation. If someone wakes up, you don't really know what they're going to do. That said, I'm going to backtrack a little and talk about Virtua Fighter 1 style Okuzemi, because this is the most basic form of Okuzemi, okay? What would you imagine is the most basic Okuzemi pattern in this game?
Simply just strike or throw?
No. So here's what it is, okay? I want you to do a rising attack though, alright? Okay, keep doing it. Just get out of the zone and whiff punish. Right? And then hit them. This is the most basic form of Okuzemi. Hop away. They did the rising attack, I attack. Right? I just make sure that I don't run into it. Right? And so hopping away is an easy one, but backdash is a little better if you can do backdash, because you'll be a little closer to them. But generally, stay in their way, stay at the range of this, and then backdash. Now, Akira's mid-rising attack actually has range, so it changes things a little. Right? And so, but generally speaking, that's why the hop away works well. Right? And so it's like you do this. Right? And so generally that is the Virtua Fighter 1 style Okuzemi. Bait them into doing a rising attack. And then move away, which if you're having trouble with it like I did earlier today, do a hop. But if you do backdash, if you have a better read on it, and then after that you do you launch them, It could be with, launching with the knee, which this stick I can't really do as well because I have a button next to my guard button. But I should do the cheating method. The cheating method is to have a kick plus guard button next to a guard button and just slide.
I did not know that was the thing. I thought you just kind of raw dog this shit.
Yeah, 3-3-P launch is the best one. But that said, but it's fun doing the knee. It's so much fun doing the knee. So I like doing the knee the old-fashioned way, which is to, hit kicking guard at the same time and flick the guard. Right. But yeah. Normally I have no trouble doing it, but today can't do it. Yeah. But the cheating way is to hit. It's like you slide between a kick and guard button and a guard button is the way to cheat it, and you just slide really fast. you know, like a way that it's not common. Most Akira players have enough pride to just do it the manual way. But I think on a lot of leverless controllers that use keycaps, I think the manual way is kind of hard to do on keycaps. So.
Honestly, but I have a snapbox right now. I've just been. It feels weird.
The Snackbox Micro? Yeah, so try putting, like, next to the kick button, I would put a kick and guard button, and then the guard button next to that, to the right of that, and practice sliding that. But that said, you might pull the cap off when you do that method. So.
Oh, yeah, no, for me, it's just like, I don't know. I have no will right now to try and actually implement me anywhere in my gameplay right now. It's like, the execution check move probably is not a good idea when you're still on layer 0 of this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, totally. Actually, but really, like Rayblade said on the stream, 3-3-P is really the good launcher to do. So you hop away and just do 3-3-P. Like, this is like, knock him down and then hop away. Like, just like stand at that rising attack, like right here. And usually that's enough, but you're... a lot of Akiras, fortunately, don't do the rising attack much because it's so vulnerable to evade punish. So, but basically, it's like this, watch, and then boom, So it's like hop away, 3-3-P. It's fun doing this in match, but it's risky. It's fun like hitting somebody and doing the hop forward and the kick, right? Like this, It's really fun doing it because you have advantage, and so if they're likely to do it, then I'm like, because this might catch some things, but yeah, it's got its weaknesses. A lot of these hop attacks in Revo, though, became guard punishable. So in Final Showdown, a lot of them are not, and a lot of them are even a lot. Yeah, I think so. And some of them were even like fuzzy guardable, but in Revo, they made them like guard punishable. I mean, that Okuzumi is powerful. Like Jackie doing the hopping into uppercut or sweep that can combo is pretty solid. Yeah. I play very generically with Akira because I don't play with any of his actual real combos in this game. But he's just still scary, right? And this game you can also play non-optimally while still being very strong because it's just situation winning.
Actually, I was gonna ask, you down round? Oh, holy shit, words are hard. You down round? Sorry, I just had a stroke.
No problem.
Are you down to run some games?
Yeah, we'll do some games. All right, let's do it. Nice. All right, so you understand the wake-up options now?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions on them?
Not necessarily.
There is one I didn't cover,
I
though.
think you covered everything.
Do you know what the escapes are for the ground throws?
It's 2 PG, right?
There's 2 directions. Down and down forward, so 2 and 3. That's the mixer. Now, heavyweight characters typically will do repositioning with 2 and then damage with 3. Every other character that has a ground throw, it's like the same ground throw, and so it's just a mix-up between the directions. You wouldn't even, like, the down and the down forward would usually look the same for like an alley. It's just more that, okay, if I tried to escape down and I still got ground throw, it was down forward. It was 3. Does that make sense? Okay, we'll fight. Yeah, against so as Rayblade said, when you're fighting against like Wolf or Jeffrey, if you're in a situation where they can get a ground throw on you, you want to escape down because they're going to try to throw you into the wall. All right. Good. This P plus K is a scary move against the wall. Good. Good. Very good. That was beautiful. Let's see, with the Kira, what's the bound? Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out what the bound is. So generically, I'm going to tell you, so you know that like with dashing elbow, if they block it, you can fuzzy guard, right?
Yeah.
And fuzzy guard's crouch dash, right? To make it simpler, crouch dashing even when you hit with it is still good. so it's one of those things where you can turn dashing elbow into crouch dash into the flowchart, into another flowchart. Because it can become delayed throw, it can be watch and see what they do. And then, yeah. Very good. Really good meaty. Very good. So here, see how it's a purple hit? Purple is a side counter hit. When you get counter hit, it actually means that it was not guaranteed. So think of it as like saying, I could have evaded, I could have guarded.
Okay.
Because counter hit means I interrupted your attack, right? And so, and if I guard punish, that's not going to be counter hit, right? It's going to be recovery hit. And so just remember that if you see a purple hit, it also means maybe I should have defended instead. This isn't a way that you can interpret that. And it doesn't mean that I should always do it. It just means that that situation was not guaranteed. Same with red, right? Red also means it was not guaranteed. Nice. I'm gonna train you in the ways of the shoulder. So, I mean, in terms of like beating it is really my goal. My goal is for you to turn it into a disadvantage for Akira to do it too much. That said, shoulder also has a problem with range. It's a very short range move. So backdash into like into standing palm is pretty good, like back forward punch, right? Very good. So right now on Wake Up, I've been doing a lot of shoulder. So I want you to think about different ways you could take advantage of that. If you think I'm going to do it, but it's kind of hard. It's hard. There's a lot. You're doing a lot of good stuff. I'm just trying to feed a little, but I'm probably, overloading you. But
No, it's all good. It's not a thing about because I'm getting smelled because like I'm not used to having to deal with omega like mid crushers at times.
yeah. Well, it's not mid crushes. It's just out hitting you on it, right? It's just because I'm using the advantage and I'm buffering. So now that I'm buffering, you can see how scary Akira's options are when he's plus, or whenever you whiff your minus, right? So then it's like dashing over just is a very clean solution. But it also just means you just need to play the rock paper scissors and defend, right? But the defense is hard because I'm mixing in throws. Very good.
I should have killed you.
Nice, you shouldered my shoulder. That was cool. So what I was getting at too is if the opponent has got a consistent place to shoulder, backdash and hop away is actually pretty good there. If you can do it, but it's hard to bait them to do it. It's easier said than done. And that's guaranteed. That's Setsuna. That's a hard one to break, so that's... Trying to get a feeling there. Very good. Yep, that's a way to say you can't shoulder. Good. Nice. That was really good. Beautiful. Good. That was a really good game.
Sorry, I had to be hell watching for that.
Nah, you did awesome. You did very awesome. Keep it up. That was a really good 2-1-4P. His 2-1-4P is one on point. He's got the meaty timing down, so it's like he's like, you keep tech rolling into attack. What are you gonna do? We're doing really good. We're having fun training, and I think J.Valentine's doing awesome. Very good. I held guard, but I did guard too early. So there is a thing where if you tech roll and you hit guard too early, it might not guard. Yeah, it's usually what happens is somebody inputted guard and punch at the same time. That's another way to cause that. And another one is if they like plink off of like PKG and just didn't like let go of guard.
It has a disadvantage in this game where it doesn't matter. I think hitbox is broken literally everywhere.
Yeah, it happens either way. It's just this is because of buttons. It's not a directional thing. But yeah, that said, you're doing great. Keep it up. It's okay. It's because most of the time it's not the plus, so you're good. Really nice. That was a great one. I do like your dash and throw now. I get used to doing that with Akira. That was a very intense game. Keep this up. I am still doing too many FS things. I keep trying to do 4-6P off of guard break.
I saw that. I was like, wait, that don't work.
Yeah. It's more for me. It's more because I play Lao. So.
Does he get a launch off his guard break?
Yeah, he does.
Starts to go and turn back if I recognize shoulder.
The 3P+K is really evil at the wall.
Yeah, I didn't have enough Oki there. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Karasuba, it's good to see you. How have you been doing? Sorry I didn't recognize. We're having. I keep forgetting how to do this.
God.
Yeah, because you gotta do this. I keep forgetting. Or I think this too. But I don't play Akira much, so it's a lot of fun improvising with my Akira. But Evade's sidekick is very strong, so I just like don't know the combo. So. Fuzzy. Got a fuzzy. Really just got a fuzzy. But I didn't fuzzy earlier when you blocked my super dashing elbow either, so.
No.
Alright, Chris Suva says, I'm going well anyway, just saw your Akira and just decided to watch. Yeah, just having fun. I don't play Akira much, it's just, but I have fun playing Akira at locals and training people. So it's a lot of fun. Akira is a very fun character to play, but I have a hard time turning Akira brain off. Like once I play Akira, I start trying to do Akira things with other characters to bad results. It's really funny when that happens, so. Good. Thing I really like with your play though is you are picking really awesome spots to throw. I like your throw choice. I like you punishing my defensive patterns a lot. I think it's very good. Like that's a harder thing for a lot of people to do. And so that are learning VF and you're doing it extremely well.
That's where it's like forward there. I think I'll let go of P for like a frame.
Yeah. Yeah, Car says noticing that I'm using 4-6 throw a lot. It's like, oh, just, it's like I'm not thinking about which throw I do. It's just like, it's just a habit. It's from how I used to play Akira. So. I do think rising attacks or those hopping down attacks, I think are punishable, a lot of them, but I'm not sure which ones are. Yeah, backdash, quarter circle back punch is always really good. It's a very strong sequence. Right. I'm using golden lever, which is based on Korean levers, but I tune it like a Japanese lever. I can send you the specs if you like sometime. I have 2 specs that I custom built for myself from golden lever.
Golden liver feels fucking fantastic.
I love it.
For me, having carpal tunnel, I'd probably play on stick with golden liver. my hands die.
No, I understand. Yeah, but I enjoy playing leverless as well. But when I do, I really hate that area behind my ring finger. So
I gotcha. I think I need to start fuzzing more. I'm kind of just getting thrown for free.
You're doing very good. You're making good adjustments, but yes, that is definitely one to do. It takes a while to get used to.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You're doing, like, you're absorbing a lot.
Yeah.
The arcade stick model, I'm using a VM6 by arcade, also by Golden Lever, Arcade Stick Indonesia. It is. I have a stick collection myself. There's a lot of Japanese levers I like to use, and I am glad though that Virtua Fighter is pretty much good on almost any Japanese lever. Just wanted to have fun. That very nice.
If it hit though. Oh!
I like the throws. I really like your use of throw. I really like it a lot. I am using a lot of forward throws though, so you do want to be able to skip forward throw.
Yeah, I'm not lazy throw skipping at all. It's hard to put that in my mind because like when I'm guarding, my whole idea is like, all right, I'm waiting to block something, that let me get my turn back,
Yeah.
and then I can just like try to like run some mix after. So like trying to be like cognizant of that is like fucking me up. Like, it's chill.
But honestly, you're doing fantastic. I really honestly mean that. Like, I don't know how long you've been playing VF, but I really like the way that you're playing it. Like the way you're improving too. So keep it up.
I can check my hours. It's like 25, something like that.
Yeah, no, you're playing really good.
No. Wait up. Help me! Fuck! I dropped.
Let's see if that would work.
Yeah.
you know how to do side throw escape?
No.
Okay, I can teach you 2 of the 3 methods for it. Yeah.
All right,
Identifying. Do you play Tekken at all?
Yeah, I played Tekken before.
Okay. In Tekken, are you comfortable with the left and right on that? Like your character's left, your character's right?
At times, yes.
Okay. So one logic is that the throw escape is left throw escape or right throw escape based on your character's left or your character's right. So if you're being thrown from your left side, you can do it. Now that said, there are other logics you can apply instead. But that is like how I do it. That's the way the coders meant when they did it. But there are other tricks for it. So another trick that I like, and it helps for quick decision making, is up, back, down, forward. If they evade up, the escape is back throw. If they evade down, the escape is forward throw. Up, back, down, forward. There is a third logic, which is based on like whether you can see whether you're looking at like which way your character's looking. If you're watching your character's head and where they're looking, that can tell you which direction to throw escape. And some people, that one's easier for them. I don't use that logic, but some people it's better for them. Good delay throw. So Karsa Shiro said, if I had to choose for a Dreamstick build, it's being able to swap between Japanese and Korean lever at any time, including the buttons. Yeah. I am using crown buttons, so I am using the Korean buttons, but I really like Crown 202 a lot. I do have Gamer Finger on other buttons. I like Gamer Finger, just not on Capcom games, but I don't play Capcom games much, so But the reason I don't recommend Gamer Finger for Capcom games is because Gamer Finger plungers are not secured, they're not locked into the housing. And because of that, on Capcom games, frantically pushing the 6 buttons, you can end up dislodging the plungers very easily. Especially if you play like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, in a game that encourages you to mash buttons.
I messed my timing.
Yeah. That was a really nice VF1 style Okizumi. Akira really hits like a truck. It's so much fun. You'll get used to punishing it, even though I don't punish it. You'll get there. I don't know why that animation, like, it looks like he's vulnerable. I don't know why my brain is looking at that animation all wrong.
I made I was only on plus frames.
So which anime fighter did you come from, or what's your main?
Right now it's Melty. We're
Awesome.
at Frosties this year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I got 17, so that was pretty chill. But I don't know. VF has kind of been my hyperfixation right now.
I'm really happy that you're playing VF, so thank you very much for playing this game.
See, you don't gotta think me I won't do if I don't want to.
What's that? Yeah.
I don't play retention can be hella times, especially like these relatively old games, but like, I don't know. Ain't nothing that deep. I'm a victim. Help me! Dash?
That was cool. That was really fun. Just trying to out matcha. Akira Brain is so fun. Very good evade. Nice evade throw. This should ring out. Very good.
Oh, what the fuck?
Because it's slow. So after the 23 frames, if you hit a button, it'll retrack you. So when you successfully evade, if there's still hit frames for that one move or even string, and you hit something, input anything at all, it'll start to retract towards you.
So do I gotta wait for it to end and then like go for a punish?
Yeah. So because there's so many hit frames on that move, that's just like you gotta wait for it to end. Yeah, you have to wait for that move to end specifically.
Okay.
And so even hitting guard will cause it to retract towards you. So you only have to worry about it with only a few moves, but yeah, because not that many things have that many frames, you know. Low punch mix up.
I was just moving for vibes there.
Yeah, it had a feeling. I felt the vibes. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is West Coast, super late night, 2 in the morning, yes. So good to see you, Jamie Lee Curtis. How have you been doing? By the way, people are used to me streaming super late at night until like 7 in the morning in the past. I haven't done it lately, but it's what I used to do. Just good morning. It's 5 in the morning, your time.
Wait, shit. Yeah.
10 a.m. Wireman's time. Yes, Wireman, it's so good to see you. It's been a while. I hope you've been doing really, really well. Hope you've been enjoying concerts and Bachikwan as well. So Wireman is a practitioner of Bachikwan. They also have made some awesome videos and good content for VF. I really appreciate the Wireman era. And I hope you've been doing really well. Why do I always think it's that decision point time? Oh, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to your videos. This one is a tricky one. The wall.
I was like thinking like in my head for the next couple of games, I'm just gonna try not to evade at all, just like force myself to like actually get used to fuzzy.
It's really good to do that. It's actually good to know what's some of the weaknesses of movement cancel, not just throw, but also if I evade cancel like this, right? This is evade cancel. If I do this, I cannot do a successful evade for a whole second for 60 frames. So it's like you can see that, and so it means so it means like if you do this, I have to block it, right? If you do this, I have to block it, and so that's the implication of that. It's something like Wolf gets to do some mean stuff, he gets to, and even if he's minus, he can at least play the reverse side of the mix-up if he's confident in guessing the opponents. And you've actually played reverse mix-up a little in a good way. That was me trying to do half circle back forward punch, and I did half circle back punch. So, yeah. This is the Akira gonna make you guess all the time. Every time. Are you attacking? Are you defending? Are you attacking? Are you defending? Yeah, 2-on-4 always pays off, 100%. I agree. I agree. Well, having you guys in chat always pays off too. So this has been really, really making my night. Really nice you joining all of us, and that was me trying to guard and do back throw escape. So again, that's like hitting guard way too early or not letting go of it, and so it's no longer counting. I want to see. Good games. How are you feeling?
definitely feel like I'm understanding a bit more, but obviously still new. So a lot of it's just gonna take time for me to like actually implement it. Sorry, that's like they got articulate.
It seems no, but it seems like you understand a lot, but it seems like you're feeling a lot too. To be honest, I think it's. I see a lot of good stuff in your play, especially with how much time you've had in the game so far. Of course, it's going to have peaks and valleys on the way. This journey, the Virtua Fighter journey, can be brutal, but you're playing really good, and I like the adjustments that I do see, and I like that the execution doesn't seem to be the barrier for you at all. It's just you're thinking really fast. To be honest, you're doing all this while you're mentally stacked because you're learning stuff, right? I like the way that you call out defense really well. So you have a really good instinct for throwing, at least me. Of course, yes, you can definitely fuzzy guard more, because it's actually hard for opponents to punish fuzzy guard, and when they do, once they punish the fuzzy guard, there's a mind game to be played there, and so it's just the fuzzy guard is like the starting point also, similar to like mid throw. That is what I was going to show you. Okay, so like let's say you pick Jeffrey. Pick Jeffrey. Okay, I'll pick Leon. And this is because when you play Akira and Jackie, you might not think about this side of the game, so I'm going to talk to you about this right now.
Okay.
And that is like how to hack a mix-up, because a lot of characters will. So go ahead and pick Jeffrey in the player character menu.
Yeah, I'll pick Jeffrey. My bad.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to do an uppercut, and I want you to block it, or I'll even do sidekick. Either one, doesn't matter, okay?
Yep.
And I want you to block it and then just do 6K. It's a very strong option, right?
Okay.
So, right? Really powerful option. Okay, so now, and then now, like let's say I defend or I evade, so you throw. So now I'll go for throw option, right? Good. Very good. Okay. And so this mix-up is pretty troublesome, right? But now try to mix up these options. That's delayed. Right? This is the hack. This is an attack that beats the knee. Earlier it didn't because you delayed the knee, but still, in general, this will beat the knee because it's a Sabaki attack. Right?
Yeah.
Akira and Jackie don't really do Sabaki that much. Right? So Sabaki attacks are a way to hack a mix-up. So now as Jeffrey, keep doing this, yeah. Right? So this is one way to hack a mix-up. So Jeffrey should do is he should do like punch options. So you can do like 3-3-P, right? And you can do many punch options. You can do 4-3-PP. 4-3 is a little harder to do if you're not used to doing that motion. Akira has it though. Yeah, like that, right? Two-handed attack will beat almost any Sabaki except for, I think it beats every Sabaki. Maybe the only one character I can imagine not having a Sabaki or having a Sabaki for it is Vanessa, but at the very least, Aoi can actually reverse mid two-handed attacks. But so then you end up having to like change. This is like forcing you to use more punches because this thing will be high mid kicks, right? So that's one way to do it. And it's not that Akira couldn't do this. It's just that I just wanted to show a more clear example where you take away a mix-up and now your opponent's going to change it up. And then the game changes on that. Eventually, they start watching. And so the other guessing game becomes, not the guessing games, but the places of contest is, are we playing for reacting, where I might duck under, and if I see I duck a high, I'll eye poke you PK? Or am I going to be playing committed to the buffer where I just go ahead and like a Barney, right? You know, because if I think you're going to throw, then I might just, start doing this, right?
Yeah.
But that's playing the mix-up. And then eventually when people start hacking the mix-up, you start doing options like high jab too. Like that's why at high level you might sometimes see this for a number. There's many overlapping reasons that they might do this to minimize their risk, to lower the risk. But at the same time, it's still scary if your Jeffrey went for the knee. But it's more about, okay, how is my opponent shaping their mix-up? Then I can find options that might hack them, right? And the problem with the low mid mix-up, right? Like let's say you do down back kick is for the low. Yeah. And then you did mix it between a mid. So like let's say you block and you do the mid-low mix-up. The weakness is this evade, right? This is why in general and Leon gets this, right? If you did the low. So like so mid-low is a weaker mix-up in Birchfire because of that. Okay, back to what I was saying about side throw escape. If I was to go to this is Jeffrey's left, right? And then if I was to go down here, this is Jeffrey's right. Now, offensive move does not lead to side throw, by the way. You have to pretty much evade a big move. So like, let's say you go ahead and do, okay, you do like a side kick to me, I'll block it, then I'll do a side kick to you. So you got to evade to Leon's backside. The trick for this, are you comfortable evading back and front yet or not yet?
No, I can.
Okay. And do you know my trick that I teach people for doing it in general on the fly?
No.
Okay, so the backside's often the better side to evade for a lot of characters, and Leon, it's definitely the better side to evade in general. You see Leon's front foot? Just evade to where the front foot is. That front foot is the tell, and it matters because even if I'm knocked down, you can see it. If I combo you, you can see it. Like every situation, you'll be able to see it. And so just by focusing on that front foot, you won't have to really worry about it. Eventually, you'll start to see it. It's very easy to do. You just have to practice it for maybe 15 minutes, and you'll realize that's a pretty good way to evade to the back. And then you just do the opposite for evading to the front. Because Leon switches stances a lot. He has a lot of attacks that switch his stance. Obviously, Jackie and Sarah manually switch their stance, but Leon, his move list, a good chunk of his move list switches his stance, so it becomes really hard to track back and front against him. But when he's doing this, you can kind of see it by looking at that front foot. Okay? So that's really strong. And if you're fighting Leon, that is like, if he forces you in the side turn, or if he evades you, evading to his back is very strong. But yeah, the throw escape is basically based on the logic of left and right. But again, you can also just use the mnemonic up, back, down, forward. Okay? Or you can look at kind of where they're facing or their back of the head. I don't know. I don't use that method, so that's why it's not, I'm afraid to try to teach it because I don't know it too well. It's like, where's he looking? In this case, if I saw, basically I think what it is, if you can see the front of Leon, if you can see the front of your character's face, then you can evade, then you can throw escape forward, right? Because in this case, if I move here, then it's going to be left, it's going to be back, right? And then, but if I move here, it's going to be right throw escape. So I guess it's where your character's looking, right? And some people, that's just the way that helps them do the proper throw escape. So, yeah. Hey, LD Wells, good to see you. Hope you're doing really, really good. Thank you very much, June. I think it was a very fun training session. It just warned me for disconnecting on you.
I don't know, it just
I've actually seen like people getting like temporary bans because of stuff like that. It's like, thank you, Virtua Fighter. You know. But it's all good. But yeah, thanks. I was gonna call it a night though, but I was gonna say thank you very much for making the time for this. And
I was like, shit, thank you. I was like, you're the one that did more of the investment than anything. I just slid up in your DMs. I was like, dog, put me on, please. And you just did.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I was gonna say specifically is that like I think VF community outreach is actually kind of nuts because like I cover like a lot of random like poverty games, like mainstay games, things of that nature. I don't think I've really seen like the will for community outreach from any like game except VF. It's kind of crazy. Like everyone here is like super chill. Like even people like Giga Results are just like actual people. You know, you'll be like, yo, I'll put you on. No, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's a big reason I actually want to keep on going. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, can you guys see that I'm offline? It's funny. I've got this warning that I'm currently offline and network connection is required for online play, but it's streaming, so it's like okay. Anyways, yeah. So to speak to that, I think there's a number of factors that go into it, right? In the past, there's the arcade culture, you could say, but I've seen arcade culture go both ways. I've seen very winner takes all arcade culture. I've seen exclusive and I've seen inclusive arcade culture. So I don't think it's exactly that. But I do think that Virtua Fighter is a humbling game. This is a game where if you stick long enough, you'll definitely have periods where you took lots of beatings in this game, at all levels, So I think part of it, a little part, is that it's humbling. Two, but like if we were to say it's because this game is not as popular, the thing is that this aspect about Virtua Fighter's community is true in Japan, even when that game was the most popular arcade game for many, many years in Japan. So, like, Virtua Fighter traditionally has been the most dominant arcade game in Japan, actually, throughout its history. It's just not popular outside of Japan as much, right? In Taiwan, it was popular for VF2 and VF3, and same thing for Korea, But after the VF3 era, Korea the culture quickly shifted towards StarCraft, towards PC gaming, and I think in Korea, like whatever trends is really strongly trends. It's a very there's a strong homogenous aspect to the culture, a strong do what's popular, but also do what we're strong at. So if the Koreans are like the best in the world at a game, it'll become pretty popular in Korea, stuff like that. Then. So that means that I don't think it's exactly just that it's not as popular. But it's true that Virtua Fighter scenes outside of Japan have definitely made strong community outreach efforts in the past because the game is not as popular and because it's a game. But I think the key ingredient to all this too, though, this is a game where, when you played enough, two things. One, for a lot of people that do get good at it, or even those that aren't good at it but just enjoy it, a lot of us really are convinced we're playing what we feel might be the best game. That might be true or not, but that's how a lot of us that love VF feel, right? So there's a sincere love of the game.
Generally, this may be a little bit of glazing, and this may be a little bit of LARPing, especially considering I'm new. But I've genuinely considered like VF like probably like the perfect game in a sense. Like when people talk about like fighting games, and a lot of like whims of like newer fighting games.
Yeah.
VF doesn't really have any of that shit. It's like combat mechanics, like random fucking nonsense. Well, there is nonsense in this game, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like more like over centralizing system mechanics. But like this game is like it feels so ground to earth or down to earth rather. It's
there's definitely a quote unquote back to basics appeal to it, right? But it's not exactly that. Like that doesn't fully capture it because the game is kind of the interactions get complicated, but the core actions might feel simpler. But that's a complicated discussion that not everyone feels that, right? So, but there's definitely something there. But I know what you're saying. I really know what you're saying. But what I would say though is that there is this goes into the elegance argument. Some people will feel like it's a very quote unquote elegant game, right? And that's because, and this happens to games that become lifestyle games, whether it's chess or the game of Go or certain core board games that are like the favorites at a group, or Magic the Gathering in a way. But Magic the Gathering is more like it's an amazing product that is constantly R&D'd and iterating. So it's a little different. But a lot of people do trust that with Magic the Gathering, if they're willing to spend and do that, there's core things they really love about it, that it's proven itself. But at the same time, it is a more dynamic environment of a game. But Virtua Fighter, again, the people that play, a lot of people that play Virtua Fighter are convinced it's like of its place in gaming, right? And that's part of what makes so there's a pride in that, and there's a I really want more people to see this great game that I see, right? And so it's like the love of the game aspect, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but like I feel like VF has almost picked up like cult classic status, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like I think people talk about VF in like such a like in a neighboring way. And it's like one of those things was like, oh yeah, this game's hard shit though. You know, you don't want to get into this shit. Trust me. It's like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Our community does feel bad about during the early hardcore era of fighting games. Okay, this would be the early 2000s. Some of us in the community that are old now from that time do have some regrets that because what was kind of popular to talk about in fighting games was how complicated they were getting or how serious or hardcore they are. So some of us kind of feel like that maybe we shouldn't have overplayed that when we're talking to other people about Virtua Fighter because we were scaring people off of it, especially because the multiple throw escape system at the time, and that the tech created like a big skill barrier, but the actual core game itself doesn't create that barrier. You can still overcome those really advanced tech with very simple things, just like in this game. But because we kept talking about like that was the reason that we liked Virtua Fighter, it ended up, it kind of like just made the game look more complicated and turned away people that might have actually enjoyed it on a more simpler level, but would have gotten good too,
Yeah, I think that definitely can happen with a lot of games.
Happens with with the Melty Blood and Guilty Gear. I mean, I think Guilty Gear is insanely complicated because it's like every character's a system, Yeah,
Gear is complicated, but the whole thing about Gear in general, I'm gonna more or less talk about Strive here because old Gear definitely has its isms where you are kind of learning your character majority of the time when you're picking up gear. And then you're really learning a lot of the games, and then eventually you learn how systems interact with that. But we look at Strive, and for people that don't really play anime games like that, or gear in general, you'd be like, wow, this looks fucking crazy as shit. And outside of maybe 5-10 characters are doing something really different, it can be very homogenized in how you actually go about doing things. And I think VF can be very confusing initially because it's the 3D game problem. You look at the move list, it's there's 100 fucking moves. What do I do with this?
Yeah.
Then you realize VF is all right, 2P, jab, elbow, throw, then you have evade. It's 5 things generally, no combo of 2 basic things you're doing, and kind of get an idea of all right, the triangle system. Thinks it's gonna throw you, you could just punch them or duck them. They're gonna evade, you throw their ass. And if you're about to get hit, you block shit, and then you just try to get your turn back. It's very basic things like that. I don't think comes inherently natural to a lot of people picking shit up. Especially with how Street Fighter's obviously he's got Tekken these days, and you explain to people, so you're not really stepping this game, you're evading. That's a hard set thing. You're either evading or you don't.
Right.
What's that mean? It's but it's I don't know. I think VF is weird. Is hell weird. I wouldn't call it necessarily
Well, it's weird if we're talking about because in the sea of fighting games, it just is doing things a little differently on small levels, but these things add up, and that does make it quote unquote weird because again, a lot of fighting games are going to use back to block and moving away and defending being the same thing, being ultimate way of defense, right? And Virtua Fighter is kind of we philosophically want the characters to be moving forward, and but backdash is we still make it good. We just they just better do it more deliberately, right? And so it has risk, but it has reward. And then, but that said, though, no, I love the way that obviously there's again the element that. We have a strong belief in our game, but a lot of people have belief in their game too. This game attracts a lot of introverts, by the way. So the irony is that a lot of the player base for Virtua Fighter tends to be introverted. All around the world, I've seen this. And I like that, but it does mean that like they might appeal to the analytical, but at the same time, the game might look less saucy for people that want to just dominate a game. And this game is hard to dominate. So
that's kind of hard for me. That's actually kind of interesting to think about because like I've talked to like a fair amount of VF players at this point. And it's like talking to Hayato. I think it was yesterday. Definitely not an introvert. Texas Jackie Kleber, Harpooner, Jed. You don't really seem introverted to me at all. So it's
so at my core, I'm actually introverted, but I grew up working in restaurants since I was 13, and I developed like extrovert skills through that. And so basically, I've often found myself in positions where people will see that extrovert side because I've become comfortable talking about certain things, whereas when I was younger, I was not. But also, I've often ended up in gaming communities being like a bridge, being like a lot of people going, I don't know how you get like all these introverts and all these extroverts to get together and play, right? Whether it's board games or Virtua Fighter or whatever. I've often been like a connector for that because of the professional experience. But in my core, actually, I'm a little more introverted. But when you build those extrovert skills, it changes you a bit. But it's also like, okay, this is what I can do. And it becomes like another kind of game. But then you also sometimes need to recharge. So yeah. But yeah, so that's me. There is that I think I do identify myself as being actually like at my core fundamentally introverted, but I've been very comfortable, and in the online era, more outspoken because of that too, right? So that's why I'm comfortable talking from lots of practice, you know. And then that fundamentally changes me to be more extroverted too, eventually. So yeah, so it is true. But then again, you look at a lot of the people that are in Discord, right, are actually introverted, but in their safe space, they're going to say crazy stuff, and that's true of introverted players everywhere. That's also true in the VF community. Yeah.
Actually, I have a quick question or something. I was legit gonna like write this down like a notepad, just like so I can have it. Can you slide me some homework?
Okay. Well, one, you definitely need to do fuzzy guard. Two, you do need to throw skip more. I don't know if you're just guessing wrong or if you're not doing throw skip enough, but the thing is this: whenever your character is vulnerable, so let's define vulnerable. You whiffed. They blocked you. They evaded you. They counter hit you, especially if they counter hit you. Anytime you're vulnerable, it's not just that you should guard or by default, you should guard throw skip by default. There's two things that should be happening when that guard button is held versus pressed, right? Whenever that guard button is held, there should be two things. One of two things should be happening. You're either preparing your next move, by that I mean buffering, or you're doing a throw escape. If you're not buffering, you should be doing a throw escape. And so that automatically will cut down a lot of potential throws. You don't, if you're having trouble throw escaping a different direction, what you can do is instead temporarily pressure yourself. Just say at the start of a round, just pick one throw escape direction and just commit to doing that one mechanically. Make it a mindless process, one that you don't normally do. It could be neutral, it could be forward, it could be back. Just pick one. For starters, this is to train you. This is to make it comfortable. It's not, and this is to take away the guess element, which could mentally stack you and slow you down. You just need to mechanically be doing a throw escape a lot. Something that I do, we should do it, but actually it's late. One of the things I do at locals when I train people on throw escape is I'll actually tell them which throw direction I intend to do. And I'll tell them, hey, while we spar, I'm going to try, and I say try because my instincts wants to take over and do the other thing, okay?
Yeah.
My instincts are going like, my survival instinct is going to want to switch throws. So sometimes that's going to happen. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this forward throw, this whole set. And they'll spar with me. And you know what it makes them realize? It makes them realize that they're not doing throw escape nearly as much as they should.
Yeah.
They'll see me dash and then throw them. Because a lot of people intuitively want to do throw escape as a reaction. And it's not. It's insurance. It's just automatic. It needs to just be there. And then which throw escape, that can come later. But mechanically, the throw escape has got to be there if you're not buffering.
Okay.
And so when you evade, also should be eventually you're throw escaping unless you're buffering. The only excuse for not escaping a throw is buffering. Throw escape, and both Harpooneer and I teach it this way, throw escape is to protect it's not to protect you from throws. It's to protect your decision to guard, to defend. It's to make defense less risky, less vulnerable. If you know, the more you know your opponent's going to throw, the more your attack should have been like, the more certain you are they're going to throw, then attack or just simply crouching, if you have the time, are like kind of the things to do. Later on, yes, you can develop the crouching style of play, which is incredibly powerful, and if you fight against it, you realize like how to fight against it, but it's really tricky. But generally, the way you fight against somebody that's really good at doing crouching guard is to just elbow them into Nitaku and be better at guessing than they are.
Yeah.
But that's the core way, and then after that, it's setting them up and it's trying to get them off of their crouch guard. Why is crouch guard is like for beginners, we don't recommend crouch guard, right? But at the higher level, we recommend crouch guard because you have to clear a lot of skill barrier. A lot of skill barriers have to be cleared before you're able to turn that crouch guard into a real serious weapon, right? You have to be whiff punishing highs. You have to be guessing whenever the opponent forces you to guess, like when they elbow you, right? You got to be covering a lot of bases. And once you've covered those bases, that crouch guard becomes an insanely powerful way to play this game. But it's not foolproof. Just like everything else, it's not really that foolproof. So for starters, though, I didn't see enough throw escape from you. After that, I would say when you do get comfortable mechanically doing that throw escape more, I do want you to improve. I would encourage you to keep thinking about how you would play the situation after the throw escape. Almost anticipate it. Okay?
Okay, yeah, one thing I was going to ask, are you neutral after throw escape?
No. There's always what, and it's not, okay, it depends on what throw was escaped, okay? That's number one. But generally speaking, most of the time, the person who was doing the throw is at a disadvantage and probably side turn. But some of the time, it's not that way. Some of the times, it's actually their plus. Okay. So you have to experiment in training mode with that. But most of the time, you can assume, no, that said, here's what to know. Again, you're playing a character like Akira, so it's a little less, you don't have as many crush options as other characters, right? So crushing is not always what you're thinking, but generally speaking, given what I just said, if you escape most normal throws, you can probably dashing elbow or sidekick. It's pretty strong. The risk for sidekick is the evade punishment or sabaki, but it's still very strong as a default. And then you can again have the mindset of they got to prove to you that they can threaten, that they can beat what you're doing. Let them do it. Like profit. If you operate on profit, it's easier to make these decisions. It's easier to mix up if you operate on profit. So what I mean by that, it means that you do the option because you want to see if they're actually going to beat it. If you're Kage, you should actually do a 10-foot toss early on because you want to see if they actually escape it. You can't just guess that information. You actually they can prove it to you. You can get evidence.
So pretty much going into match entirely with the assumption is like, okay, I'm gonna do the shit that is strong as fuck on my character, like immediately, just to see what they do about it.
Exactly.
And if they really are about it, then you start like taking advantage of like this. Like, all right, I'll throw it in this direction because like 10-foot toss, that's a forward break, right? Or is that back break?
10-foot toss is forward. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, all right, I'll start back throwing them.
So
scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also wrote on VFDC. You can find it. I'll link it to you in Discord. But I wrote a guide. It's a throw escape guide, actually. But at its core, it's actually not just a throw escape guide. It's actually a Yomi guide. It's actually a guide to reading people, or how to apply reads, or how to kind of like, and it gives sample solutions to different reads, but and how they're kind of profile. But it helps understand these things, and I think you'll like it. And I wrote that whole thing like in a group chat. But then I cleaned it up and made it look more formal. But I think you'll like that guide. It's helped a lot of people with how to think about things, how to kind of, but then there's more. Okay, so one homework is, again, fuzzy guard more. Do it against the AI. And what I like about your play is you're not afraid to do options. You really aren't, and that's good. That's strong in this game. You shouldn't.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of realized, like, because obviously, if you're just pressing shit at a certain point, they're like, yeah, you're just free counter hit bait, you're just gonna get smoked for it. But I've recognized, especially in this game, that you do kind of have to send stuff a lot more with, like, obviously with, like, consideration. But sometimes you just gotta send it, let people know, let everyone it's good.
Here's the thing, when people hard part with us Americans is we want to be right all the time. Okay, and we're afraid to be wrong, and you shouldn't be afraid to be wrong in Virtua Fighter, to be honest. But like, you really shouldn't be afraid to be wrong. You should just like, use the numbers, meaning the volume of situations, the number of iterations. Use that to guide you. So just it's repeat. That's probably why a lot of the okay, even back in the 90s, VF was quote unquote the old man's game, because a lot of the fighting game players for most fighting games were under the age of 25, and a lot of the Virtua Fighter players were people in their 20s. And so even back then they called it an old man game. So, because there's a lot of college kids that would play Virtua Fighter at the time, or at least a lot of the VF demographic happened to be of college age or people that were working. And it was really interesting to see this difference, back then in the late 90s and early 2000s. And I went to Taiwan. I played a lot of Virtua Fighter. Almost everybody was like same age as me. So, but that said, okay. More homework. Those are the core main homework. Outside of that, you're doing a lot of good stuff. Your Akira can definitely do a lot more fuzzy guard, though, because Akira has so much. Akira is 66p, 666p. 46p plus K, 46p KG, all of these can be fuzzy guarded if the opponent blocks. And you do that because, and again, can people beat fuzzy guard? Yes, but you make them. And to be honest, it's just so commonly profitable. The opponent has to really discourage you from doing it. So the other point I was going to make is that, okay, with that, when I was going on the tangent about Americans, is that, so because of this, the way that people look at reading can be a little bit too much, over glamorized. So because reading has this strong assumption that because it wants to dominate, people want to dominate, Americans want to dominate. So because they want to dominate their opponent, they want to be right all the time. And so because of that, they'll look at reading in this way. But as I was talking about earlier, it's just about getting information. It's just about getting information. And because in the long term, you'll make better decisions with more information. And so conditioning. If you're having trouble reading, just think about conditioning. I'm just going to do this thing that's working, and I'm going to hammer them with it. And I'll just be ready and if it's working, all I have to do is keep doing it while I'm doing this, I can think about the next thing once they do it, but I'm just waiting to see them make a change, and then I'll adjust, and if you play that, that's playing with profit and loss. That's playing with a profit and using a profit too, because it's all you need to do except for the final round, except for at the end of the round, right? So end of the round, there are things to consider. did the throw game change at the start of the round, or when the players have full life and when the players have low life? Is there a difference in the throw situation?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Oh shit, sorry. So generally, I think when people are higher life, they're more willing to actually go for throw just an option. So like, yeah, if you get fuzzy or when you get fuzzy, I can get blown up. Like it's fine. When they're lower health though, I think throw situation just changes like a lot because like it's obviously more risk because like if it gets like if you get swinged on, they're like you get smoked. But like I think it also means that like throw can actually be more of like intense option to actually like represent when you're at lower health.
Yeah. So these are okay. So these are good. These are good points. These are. But here's what I will say about it. When you have more life, throwing is less risky.
Yeah.
So the risk of your opponent killing you for doing a throw is less because you have enough life to live. If you guess wrong, if that throw is the wrong thing to do, you're not dead yet. Okay. When you have low life, that throw is riskier. Because all they have to do, if suddenly you can lose to a jab, that's a very different situation.
Yeah.
So the risk of throwing changed when life is low. So what this means, it doesn't mean that you never throw when your life is low. It just means you better have a much better read when you throw when your life is low.
Yeah, it's just
But whereas if you have a high amount of life, it's just something that you can do. It's an option, and you can live with the consequences and move forward. So that's one. Two, the throw direction game changes. Once neutral throw becomes a lethal throw, now there's 3 throw directions that are threatening to end the round. But you still want to use the guard button. You don't want to mash, right? So sometimes you still want to throw escape, always. So that becomes information that can be a read. Does my opponent try to use neutral throw every time the life is low? Some people do. It becomes a very easy read. Should I do neutral throw? Does my opponent escape neutral throw when his life is low? It's a really big thing to consider. It's a big read. So just remember that's one also. You already know about the correct directions for evading, or at least you know that it's based on the front or back of the attacker, right? From that, most of the time against Akira, most of his moves are evaded to his back, but certain moves are evaded to his front, right? But more often than not, if Akira was just randomly doing attacks and someone said all you can do is evade, generally you would evade to the back side. Okay. So given that, you use that information as a read for your opponent. What is the logic of this guy's evasion? And there's 2 basic logics people usually do if they have a bias. Are they evading based on Akira's front or back? Or are they evading just flat up or down? And a lot of times when they do that, it's because that's comfortable, because they're comfortable inputting it, because they're afraid that if they input down, they're going to mess up whatever they do after that, or because they're just used to it. And some people like to evade down because that's the technique. So they're doing it on comfort. They're not actually doing it based on the match situation. If you can see this logic, if it becomes clear to you that your opponent is evading based on up or based on down, you can take advantage of it. They have given you control of the match. There are ways to punish that with half circulars. Now your half circulars become more valuable. They become mid plus. If they evade based on front or back, well, that becomes another way that you can adjust to the matchup. Then you just kind of know which moves. Now they've sealed certain attacks of yours from being very good until you can convince them to evade otherwise, or or unless you just change the way the game's fought. But if they're always evading, so this again, these are simple places to apply reads. Okay, so that's general stuff for you to know. Last piece of homework I'd say though is try to punish with PK a little more, just as a start. With punishing standing attacks, don't over. I mean, you're at the risk of overusing it. I'm just saying to master the PK punish, because it is important and it's the thing you can count on. However, later on, it's gonna. Of course, I want you to, if you've got room, do like 6xp or do sidekick or something more powerful. But PK punish in the neutral is quite strong, so just be mindful that don't push yourself too hard on it. Just say, hey, if I see a whiff or I sense the whiff is happening and I'm not sure how punishable it is, I'll PK it. And then later, if you can do that, you can then do 4-6p also later, so just take it in stride. But I don't think I saw much PK punish from you. And I will say PK is a powerful situation, just like dashing elbow is a powerful situation. Yes, they can fuzzy guard, but yes, you can really mess with them doing fuzzy guard if they do it. So then it's more like I want you to do PK punish so you can make the read. If your opponent, what does my opponent do when I PK them? And you did do PK some, so I'm not saying you didn't do it. You definitely did it.
I think a lot of it for me is that I was kind of thinking about. I was like, okay, I want to lock in on actually having the most advantage I can have at a given moment. You know what I mean? And I think I accidentally kind of pigeonholed myself to be like, all right, if I'm not doing something that doesn't outright give me really good frame advantage, I kind of lock it away, just unintentionally, not on purpose.
No, I understand.
PK, it's 4 on hit, elbow is the same, so I should definitely use it more. I don't know why, I definitely thought PK advantage was way worse. My bad.
Yeah. PK is a situation where they should fuzzy guard. And just like if people PK you generally should either fuzzy guard, or if there's a guessing game after it, learn what the guessing game is. Go has a guessing game. Leon's guessing game is not exactly real because you can still do the fuzzy guard and it still applies, So because he's just threatening an EX high, but then people will start doing PK into elbow, right? And that's okay. Fuzzy guard would still cover that if you properly did a fuzzy guard, so you're okay. So the thing is, then more likely they would have to delay throw or low attack you, but you let them take you there, and you get comfortable dealing with that fight. But again, to repeat, fuzzy guard, because Akira has so many situations. Not many characters have this that Akira has. A lot of his core moves he gets to do fuzzy guard after. That's not true for a lot of characters in the way that is for Akira.
Yeah, because I was I'm looking at his frame data, and so I actually I'm booted at the frame data while we're just talking right now, just looking at various things, and it's okay, main elbow, -5, super elbow, -5.
Yeah.
Fucking what else?
4-6p plus K -5. 4-6p plus K plus G -5.
Yeah, I still think it's kind of insane. This character's launcher is plus on block, but
yeah.
Good vibes.
Well, but it is a high though, and there's a lot of vulnerability for that being a high. But it's so fast, it makes it a really good whiff punisher if he's standing, right? If he's crouching, the problem is it becomes double palm, and that's not a problem either. It's just different. It's just a different upside. So.
Yeah. 2-6p, -6.
But you can also input 4-6p as 4-4-6p if you're crouching.
Okay, yeah.
Because you backdash and you cancel the backdash until 4-6p. Yeah.
Yeah, there would be some times where I would try to get 4-6p out when I was crouching, and then I would kind of just get smoked. And I'm like, fuck. I don't know how to navigate this.
But so 4-4-6p is a really strong thing you can do, and if you fast buffer it, then it can become a 16 frame whiff punisher.
I was gonna say Nitaku is Nitaku -6 or -7?
-6 and worse, yeah. Anything -6 and worse.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's because Nitaku just means you can't fuzzy guard. That's all it means.
Oh yeah, I was like, God damn, this character's a merchant of this shit. It's actually
Yeah,
so nice.
that's why I'm like, if you're playing Akira, you need to be doing fuzzy guard because he's designed to be like a really obnoxious with it, right? And it's one of those where I don't care if you blocked my dashing elbow. What are you going to do about this fuzzy guard? You know. And then when I counter hit with it, what are you going to do about this mix up? You know.
Yeah, it's like you gotta show me the fact that you can get out of this.
And the thing is okay. Later on, I don't know. Do you do? I call it animation checking. That's a term that Juicebox came up with. I used to try to call it pre-checking. Do you do this? Instead of hit checking directly or hit confirming, a lot of times what I'm trying to do is I'm watching the opponent while I do my attack. And then I'll make a prediction about what the hit's going to be.
Awesome. I actually have not really done it. I was more focused on like hit checking initially because like you do have hit splats to kind of tell you like you
can hit confirm. I would say hit confirm the red hits. So you can hit confirm red sparks, but and don't think it's mutually exclusive. You can animation check and hit confirm, because animation check is just making the prediction, but you can still wait to confirm it.
Yeah.
So it's something where it's stretching your window of observation. It's just stretching it earlier. It's like you're reacting sooner, but you can still defer the decision for the hit confirm. But here's the thing though, with the way that this game's designed, when you try to do hit confirm, there's a good chance you're going to be late. There's a good chance you're going to delay, maybe unintentionally. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's pretty bad. So a lot of times what I do is when I fight people, I'm sensing whether they're rushing or dragging, to put it like in the movie Whiplash. But like a lot of times I'm making that determination, and that tells me how much I can abari, how much I can go ahead and start attacking them even after they block. Because you start identifying that they're watching and they're waiting and they're not comfortable committing. And if you've outguessed them enough times, that's why they're not comfortable committing. So when that happens, suddenly being very aggressive with the barrier kind of works. And they don't know that they're slowing down. Like, they don't know it a lot of times, and I have to tell them. And they might think the game was laggy. And offline, they'll try to figure out what happened. They're like, well, I was plus, why did I lose? Like, you might not realize this, but under this pressure, you're slowing down, and you're reacting slowly. Because you're hesitating. Because you're unsure. Because if I've outguessed you enough times, it seems to me that you're getting phased by it. With my experience, I'm not phased by it unless everything's going wrong for me that day. But I have to manage that. That's a part of the competitiveness, is to manage that. So, and this game will really call that out. This game is really good at calling out when you are slowing down, when you are taking your time. And the hard part is a lot of people that overvalue guarding or have a philosophy about guarding, a lot of times they might be susceptible to this issue because I think they've overvalued guard. Now, guard is huge. It's important. It's fundamental. What I mean is they've become dogmatic about it. They started even having a superior sense about defense, right? And I'm just like, it's just an option. We're playing rock, paper, scissors still, But if your attack is always delayed now, if I can get you to hesitate, then your attack and your throws are delayed. And if that happens, I can out-hit you on a lot of stuff. I can start rushing. And my character is very good at taking advantage of that. In fact, my character kind of counts on it, because when my character plays very defensively, it's very boring compared to playing other characters. So it's very slow and very low reward for my character. Which is why my character doesn't do it that much, right? That's why everyone's like, why are these Leon players like so reckless? I don't understand them. It's like, well, they're trying to get you to hit buttons. They're hitting buttons so you do it. That's the truth. If you can stick to your guns on defense, you might see a better result. But even then, they're going to still try to irritate you. They're going to try to get you to want to hit buttons, because that's when Leon gets rewarded. So yeah. But for Akira, he just keeps making you guess. It's relentless. Like you don't have room to breathe. Against a good Akira oftentimes will not let you breathe. You know? So he's either making you think hard or making you not breathe, suffocate.
It's very brutal, but I think it is very appealing though. Because to be honest, when I first initially picked up Akira, I was like, huh. I just thought this character was cool as shit. It was like intro before. It's like
I think so too.
tight as fuck. I know he's like pretty solid, but I low-key didn't give a shit because I already played like I was playing Jackie and Job before. Both of those were just like solid ass characters. But I was like picking up Akira. It was just like just learning how he actually plays. Like, this is kind of sick. I'm rocking with it.
Absolutely, and well, he passes the signature moves test, you know, and the signature moves test is something that most fighting games have. That Virtua Fighter, it's a little tougher, right? But Akira has a signature move. Technically, to a high level player, Jackie's beat knuckle should be the signature move. But to the casual, flip kick is the signature move. So a lot of casual players want to flip kick with Jackie. So you know.
I do miss some beat knuckle every now and then. But that's like one thing I noticed about like Akira too. Is like he definitely is stubbier than the characters I played before. So like kind of like where I let me stay on the screen a lot of times. It's just kind of weird. I also think Loki may have been kind of a crush first because like I wasn't entirely comfortable with like the actual offense. That Akira wanted to play. So like because our characters, I think like maybe like Jackie, he kind of like relax. You know, you have like you have one people's K, so I actually just have like solid mid strings. Beat knuckle is like backdash beat knuckle, lift punch, anything, get your combo. Flash kick gives you plus frames, so you have like good RPS on that, good jab strings, good elbow. All these I kind of want, but I don't think the pace of play was super appealing to me. I think Akira's kind of like tickling a brain work for me.
Awesome. Glad to hear that too. And but I think you know, as you play more, you'll find more to love, or more that's like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, just like on paper and superficially, Lau I think is a boring character, but playing him has been so much fun for me, and that's because he's a bit technical on his fast moves, and then his slow moves are really good. But his fast moves are really good. They're just technical. What makes them technical? They have narrow application. They're not just robust. You just don't throw them out. You do them very specifically. And if you do them very specifically, you get a good reward from them. But if you just throw them out there just because, then you're going to get mixed results. You know, you're going to get satisfying results, and then sometimes great results. But if you specifically learn how to set them up and use them that way, they're pretty awesome. And so that character has gotten me to be sharper on a lot of situations by playing him. And so I really enjoy that. Whereas I think Vanessa has the problem of being overly precise. I think in the case of Vanessa, she has got lots of amazing precision tools, but they're very precision tools. If she misuses them, a strong opponent can really punish her for it. But she definitely has like all the special tools for each situation. For each thing your opponent has a tendency for, she can punish it directly, and even when they have the advantage. But she has to do it precisely, and so her margin of error is the issue. That's what I attack. I change up the game a lot on them. I try to directly punish anything that has high by ducking and punish. And my character's not the best at that, by the way. Like, Leon is not the best at it. He's just annoying, and I know how to make use of that situation. There's a lot of characters that can really wreck that. You know, Lau is one of those. Lau, like when Jackie plays against Lau, a good Lau, Jackie has to learn, I really got to rein in on these highs and EX highs. Because if he predicts them and ducks under them, I'm going to eat like 45% of my life will be gone. And that's the magic of playing Lau. It's so much fun to do that. It's like, I live to duck and punish highs, you know? And that's just one core skill. It's not the only core skill. Lau is also a character that can play like a turtle, that can really be obnoxious as a chicken. So, all right, that said, Yeah, so keep at it. Aside from that, the homework is just adding to more fun stuff to do with Akira. Let yourself have more fun with the character. You're doing a lot, so I don't think your game lacks variety. But I do think I think you'll have fun with the way that you play. I think you'll have fun learning more stuff. But if you feel like you got to just keep it tight with fundamentals, there's nothing wrong with that. It's great too because Akira's fundamentals is just so strong. But
Yeah, I'm not trying to fall into a trap that I did a lot of times in our games, where it's like, I think especially with me, like trying to like learn just like build just like a lot of like core like tools. It's like where it's like, all right, I'm going to try to learn the most fucked up, unbelievably annoying combos that I've only had to do just for me. It's like I definitely don't want to fall into a trap. On the other hand, god damn, this character's so swaggy. He's so fucking sick. He's so cool.
So the beautiful thing about Virtua to me is this too. I mean, so many beautiful things for me. But here's what I will say, it doesn't make sense to a lot, but I think you're going to understand it, so that's why I'm going to tell you this, even though I've said it many times. Okay, in this game, in Virtua, you will get rewarded for experimentation. I honestly believe that 99% of the move lists in this game are useful, are good moves. They just have different homes. And some are robust, some are not. Some maximize, some do not. But they all have a good use. There's only 1% that I think is actually useless. Okay? Other games, it's not exactly true. But this game, for a combination of things, the evade system is one reason for this. The priority system is another reason for this. Okay? There is a place for slow, hard-hitting moves in this game. Really good places for it. And so this game, I feel like if you like to play around in the game, I think of Virtua as like a sandbox of a fighting game. Because I get to play around a lot, right? I get to try, people just watch me play Akira tonight. I don't almost ever play Akira. I'm just applying what I know about VF and having fun and what I've learned while playing him, but I've never sat down and studied him in this particular game. I just kind of see stuff and go, oh, that'll be fun to do, and I try it out, and it's like, this is a lot of fun. And I kind of and I've looked at the frame data. Yes, I've studied it as far as his opponent, but a lot of what I'm doing is playing with Virtua, right? But applying what I know or what I think about Akira's move list, and also my laziness, because I'm not doing the max combo. I'm doing stuff that's improvisational for me, right? But why do I bring this point up? The people that I've seen get really frustrated by Virtua is when people desperately want a shortcut to being very strong at the game. And when they're just like, what do I just need to do to win? And it's really hard to give an answer for that question, especially with that mindset. But I can tell you, I can show you stuff that's powerful to do, and then I show you the boxing. It's hard to glue those two together without some sense of wanting to experiment and willing to take the hits, right? Go ahead. Sound like you had something.
Yeah, no, I think, I definitely do get the feeling of that. Because, at a certain point with this game, as much as there is very refined shit you can do, I think this game really thrives off of the scramble and the RPS.
Yeah.
So it's genuinely sometimes in my head, I'm like, okay, this probably sucks. Fuck, I'm gonna send it. Don't gaff. Let's go in there.
No, I mean, you'll see, even in my matches, even in my competitive tournament matches, even in winner's final, I might actually, against a Japanese high level player, I might actually do something like Leon's 32 frame mid attack. And I did. And I hit him. It's because I had a strong sense of what he was going to do. I had a strong sense of the options he was covering, and that he was overcommitting to a certain defense. And that if he didn't see particular things that he was looking for, that's when he would attack. But if he didn't see them, he might delay attack. Right. And so and then my feeling was just go ahead and do it here. Right. And it totally landed right on him. Right. So this game allows you to do it. But that said, there's stronger reasons for doing the slow attack though. But that said, but evade is part of that factor. And other things too. The more people do advanced techniques, the more they capture a lot of expected techniques, but they're overcommitting to that because they might lose to some other. They might misplay after if someone does something very off the wall. And that's the beauty of this game. The beauty of this game is that the more technical you get, there's still simple answers to that, but it does solve a lot of things. It is a robust answer, but it doesn't mean it's a perfect answer for everything. Fuzzy Guard's the same way, right? Fuzzy Guard, there's ways to beat Fuzzy Guard, but why do we do it? Because it cuts down on the opponent's possibility space for threatening me. So then now they've got to show, now they're going to try to play around Fuzzy Guard. And when they do that, I'll be watching and I'll be ready to adjust to that, And but then we're playing a whole series of mind games, and one of us might get lost in the weeds, or one of us just might rein it back into basics. But that's up to the players. And this game, no matter how long it's been, this game is still fun to me. It's still more fun to me each year. It gets more and more fun for me, and I don't feel like many games do that. So that's my view, though. So.
Last thing I'm gonna ask before I get the fuck out of here. Who are really the main Akira players that you're watching? I assume Homestay, obviously.
So Homestay Akira, I don't know if they stream, but Shiokara is amazing to watch. You can watch Shiokara in the, I think in the Virtua Fighter, some of the tournaments, the offline qualifiers last year in August. I'll try to send you the video of that. Shiokara is really amazing to watch. There's a player, Anton. Anton is really fun to watch for me. But Homestay is definitely Homestay is super accessible because he streams regularly and he teaches and he works with people, so you get to see everything with Homestay. And he's one of the best ambassadors the game has ever had. But if you watch any of the Virtua Fighter Open Championship qualifier tournaments in Japan, you'll find Akira players in there. And so I would watch those because it's fun watching those. But I also encourage you to watch matches at lower level as well. I think sometimes just making a little bit of time to watch the rank 30 to 40s. There's not that many streamers these days for those, but there's some. But if you watch them or even watch their opponents so that you can eventually run into an Akira when they play ranked, you'll get to see a lot of things. You'll get to see, the thing is, high level play is covering, they're covering different options that you might not understand what they're doing because you don't know the thing that's being threatened. And when you watch lower level play, you get to see the thing that's being threatened. You get to see the real abusive plays and this is why at high level they just cut this off and won't deal with it, right? But you would like to know what that was. You'd like to do it yourself too. And then you'd like to learn to deal with people that deal with it. And then you learn when you can bring it in. But at high level play, it'll come back. It's just that you just won't see it as often. You'll see it at the right moments, right? But so watching all levels of play really helps. Just, but don't make a big deal. Just casually watch it. And if you see something interesting, you just rewind it a little and rewatch it. And then, but don't stress yourself that you have to see everything and follow everything. Do what works for you, just so that you can get more information that's applicable. And you can get it from both high and mid and low level matches, especially in this game. So sometimes you'll see some of the most creative plays done at the mid level. And yeah, you'll learn a hard answer to it, but it doesn't rule it out completely. So yeah, so have fun. All right,
honestly, thank you very much for doing this for me. Honestly, I did not expect it going on this long. I'm not bitching by any means.
Oh, no problem.
It's actually
people that have watched my stream before know that I can go literally till 7 or 8 or 9 in the morning. if I allow it lately, I don't allow it, but I'm happy going this late, actually, too often. But it is the feature you get with me. Also,
I was like, shit, your wife and kids, Max. I get it.
Obvious Creed said something really good, which is there's this channel Virtua Analytics that's run by my friend Super Golden. You should definitely check that out. What he does is, yes, he harvests the replay data, but he doesn't harvest it in a lazy way. He does cherry pick matches that have interesting stats to them or interesting players. But he is letting his system absorb as many replays and videos as possible, and he runs like a script to kind of to get the gist of them. But that channel is really cool, and you'll get to see lots of good stuff if you watch that channel. All kinds of different players. So yeah, definitely check that one out. The variety will give you the spice that you want, and that spice will give you insight. So yeah. All right. You have a good night, and thanks a lot. I had a blast. I had a good time, and I appreciate your willingness to learn VF more, fight more. I really liked it when you asked for more matches at the end, you know?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I was like, I don't know. I think for me, especially, is like, I think I am pretty good. It's like taking a lot of information, but it's like, for me, it's like, especially if something's fresh on my mind, it's like, all right, let's go ahead and slam this in, see what's good, and then have any like further questions that haven't been answered already. Then I'll ask more.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. I might talk like a lab rat, but actually I have to learn things the hard way. So I just learned them by doing them in matches. So that's me personally. But I know I sound like a lab rat because the way that I try to apply, like an essay structure to things, because I'm trying to break it down and I'm trying to help the audience follow a concept or follow the pieces of the concept, right? So I'm trying to illustrate, but as far as like my actual process of how I get stronger at this game, it's just play more, and it's really just like just try stuff, and but also looking at every different situation as an opportunity, even hardship. So I've played many tournaments. I've played a lot online. I've played a lot on stream. I've played a lot at casuals. I've played on all kinds of setups. I've played the arcades. I've played the arcades in China and in Japan. I've played on busted up machines. And I just learned that you have to adjust. And that if you can't adjust, you're just gonna, you're letting yourself lose for no reason, because a lot of times there was some things you could do about it. And I think this game is so situational that I'm okay if I have to learn other situations on top of those. I know it's frustrating, but I see this game as so dynamic. I feel like the beauty of this game is that the fights are actually dynamic. And they're created by the players, because players can play any character in different ways, especially if they have a strong foundation with the fundamentals and basics of the game. And that the game allows them to play differently is a wonderful feature of this game. So, yeah. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, probably made you fall asleep. But yeah.
I was like, no, you're fine. Honestly, I'm usually up at demon hours anyway.
Yeah.
I was like,
you can message me anytime. You'll see me reply even at 5 a.m. at my time. So So,
I'll definitely holler at you. I was like, if I have any questions, I'll let you know. But low key, I'll see what I implement in like a week or so. See how I want to play you in like a couple sets.
Absolutely.
See if I've like progressed. You know what I mean?
No, I would love that. But that said, again, some concepts you'll get them quick and they'll improve right away. Some concepts you're improving, but the results will lag. Okay, this game you're gonna have to deal with that. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. I know it's important to tell you this right now, and I think you know because you've played games like freaking Melty Blood and like Guilty Gear. Okay, so you kind of know. You've been around the block. But this game is very.
I've done this before.
But this game is very brutal on this, and sometimes you're getting better, but you're playing in a tunnel vision way because you're trying to improve a core skill. Or you're trying to improve a particular skill, and sometimes your opponent's just not letting you apply that skill, right?
Yeah.
And this game, that's what makes it kind of tough. But eventually you kind of learn how to be comfortable with that and relax and be like, okay, when it comes, I'll try to do it. But that's a lot of patience too. And that's why I definitely seen a lot of people get frustrated, or they might even start blaming their sparring partners because of this. And it's like, well, that's the way this is, but this would be true if you were doing martial arts in real life too. You know? So I think this game's really very much a lot like a martial art. So, but yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. Have a good night, and we'll spar again soon. Keep it up.
All right, yeah. All right, take it easy, dog.
Later. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed that stream. I had a lot of fun. But yeah, and just like Jamie Lee Curtis says, the things that I mentioned are why I find this game so addictive. Why it doesn't get boring. I think a lot of games can get very boring actually, but I love them still. And I'm the type that doesn't get bored of many games. When it comes to Virtua Fighter, though, I feel like it's really dynamic. I feel like I can play it like a sandbox game, and that's why I love it. So yeah. Yep. Take care. Yeah. Awesome. I like that people are hooking up in the chat, hooking up for sessions and bouts. And yeah, we'll keep doing it more. That's awesome. Jamie Lee Curtis said, a lot of tips and views I give in fighting games go hand in hand with my teachings in Goju. I'm guessing Goju Ryu Karate? Yeah. Sorry if I don't know. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Obvious Creed. I appreciate your insight too and your support as well. And it was really good to give a shout out to Virtua Analytics. It's a really good channel. Super Golden has been applying it very seriously and diligently, and I would like more people to watch it. It's great. I know Emily Rains gave a huge shout out to that channel too, and it can definitely use more shout outs. So yeah. All right, y'all have a good night. I'm gonna find someone to raid. And the game crashed on me. Nope, it crashed in a sense. But yeah. I have no idea who this is. Pit Poing Hibiki. Such an interesting name. So I cannot vouch for, I have no idea what to expect, but I'm going to send you guys because they are supporting Virtua Fighter. And I want to support anyone who's supporting Virtua Fighter. So you all have a good night and thank you so much. You have a good morning, Jamie Lee. And have a good day at work. But thank you so much for what you do. I like the energy. Always enjoy our matches. Our matches have such good high energy on it too, and it's just like it's fun. It's fun seeing what you're going for, seeing what I'm going for. It makes VF so thrilling. And so I always feel like a real thrill whenever I fight your Lao or any character you play. And I love it when it works. I love it when you make it work. But I love it when I make it work too. And that's what the game is beautiful. The fights in this game are so beautiful. I'm happy. Thank you very much for the support. Karasuba, thank you so much for everything in the chat today. I appreciate it a lot. Says, good to see me play again. I'm having a lot of fun playing. I always love VF. So I'm happy to be back. I'm trying to stream more, and I'll try to make it much more and more regular. Even these super late nights, I do miss doing these though. But I am gonna rest and then take my kids to school. but VF is such an awesome game. It really is. The reward is playing it. It's like, what do I get for playing VF? You get to play VF. I love it. So, And June, Kapkuma Cups, you have a good day, and thank you very much. I'm really happy to have supporters from Thailand as well. It means a lot to me, and I hope to be in Thailand playing more, but I definitely need to start chatting with everyone from Thailand again because I really want to make sure that the group is getting together and playing. So we'll get to that. All right, everyone, have a good one. Hopefully, Pitpoint Hibiki is I hope that they're very good in being goodwill and good intentions with VF. I assume they are, so please support them if that's the case. All right, cheers. I'm excited to hear those stories.